everybody, and welcome in. Welcome to top 64 of the September season. Also, the very last top 64 for the official Gwent Masters tournaments. And also, the very first that me and Lian are casting as a married couple. Hi!
Hi, it is indeed. And you are all here to join us. It's a little bit behind schedule because, well, YouTube doesn't work anywhere. But we are here, as you say, for the last ever official Gwent Masters qualifier. That's very sad.
I don't want to think about it.
I don't want to think about it either. But there's still plenty of Gwent ahead of us, official and otherwise. And we're here today to focus on what's still to come, which, of course, is the final 2 places for Gwent World Masters.
And this needs a little bit of explanation, I think.
It really does. So we're going to walk you through who's already qualified, and then how World Masters is going to work this time around. So we're going to take you through that. And I guess we can jump straight in.
Yeah, get cozy. We have about 20 minutes before the first game starts. So get cozy and let's have a look.
Let's do that first and go over there.
Yeah. Maybe. At some point.
We're there.
There we go.
So, Gwent World Masters is in 2 stages and over 2 weekends this time around.
Yeah.
There is a group stage, and the 2 players that qualify today will head into that group stage. It's a whole weekend all on its own. Think back to week 1 of the mid-season tournament or week 1 of the play-in tournament last year, and the 12 players in that will be fighting it out for 6 spaces.
And this weekend will be the 2nd and the 3rd of December.
Yes, that weekend will be, for that to take place, will be December 2nd and December 3rd. You will be able to watch those series live across various content creators on Twitch and YouTube, including us. Ooh. You will see us there. The players who are already in and qualified then.
Okay, let's have a look. So it's Puzzle Express.
It is.
Gravesh, Truski, Sam Van Ter, Magpie, and Maya Mon.
Yes, also Karim, Jamie One Hand, Kat Berger, and Bukowski are the others that have qualified there, plus the 2 from today.
Some big names, some known names.
Yeah, and a few notable absentees, but a few of them still have a chance to get in today. Now, there is an elimination stage. That is the final weekend of Gwent Masters. That is your typical top 8. 6 players from the group stage that we've just mentioned will join Kaneki Yamori, who won the mid-season tournament,
and Paya, who got the most crown points.
That's right. So they do not have to take part in that group stage. They are okay. They have already qualified and made it through. So they will be very happy with this. Now, what will this look like? Well, as you can see, we've kind of discussed this already, but the group stage will be the 12 finalists of the 6 online qualifiers that we've seen. They will then be in a double tournament group stage, 3 groups of 4 players, best of 5. The winners will progress the same way it was for mid-season tournament. So 2 wins and you're through effectively from your series. If you get 2 straight wins, you auto-qualify. If you lose your first one, you have a rubber to be able to win a second and then a third to have a chance at qualification. Okay. Now, then, of course, the elimination stage, it will be just like your finals of old. The 8 players, that will be live on CD Projekt's channel, and it will be exactly what you'd expect. The best of 5 series, single elimination, quarterfinals, semi-finals, and grand finals. And when is that?
On the 2nd weekend of December, which is the 9th and the 10th.
That's correct. The 9th and 10th of December will be the final stage of Gwent World Masters.
So, save the date. Write it down.
Yes.
It's important for you to be there.
Do not miss it.
Oh, definitely.
No.
And you can't see it, but I'm technically in a Halloween themed t-shirt that's just not visible on camera. But I tried, and so did Gwent. And they tried. Oh my, they tried. This is one of the best events we ever had. I think.
I agree.
So currently there is an event that its name escapes me.
The Sylvian event is back and it's live. It's the best Sylvian event I think we've ever had.
Yep.
The rewards for in-game currency right now, many of them you can see on the screen, are absolutely next level. You get them simply for playing and earning the blood reward, or your daily logins, your daily quests, things like that. It's not just about game wins. Do not miss out on this event. There are so many cool things available in Gwent right now that you will not want to miss, so check that out.
Looking really great.
It is. How about we jump back and see us?
Yeah.
Hello.
Looking very great.
It is wonderful to be back.
I might do a little technical window. So a few things. We are not really reading chat when we're casting, just so you guys know. And if you're on YouTube and it's not really working, the entire YouTube seems to be down.
Yes.
So just so you guys know, it's really we don't know what's happening, but hopefully, fingers crossed, everything will go smoothly during the casting. But YouTube has let us down a little bit.
Well, I've never seen YouTube live streams down worldwide, but they appear to be right now. They are. If you're watching over on YouTube, feel free to let us know in the chat window. If you are struggling over there to be able to consistently watch,
on Twitch,
you can jump over on twitch.tv/Lionheart. We are live here as well for you to come across and see.
And I am getting some important information that is less than 10 minutes before we go live with the game. So we better have a look at the decks. Come on.
We better, yes. So we have got the winners bracket final. Winner goes to Masters. Let's get started and take a look at the first set of deck lists for our players.
Which is?
The first one being Lian NL has made it to the finals.
Yes, and they are bringing quite the setup that we will see a few more times, I believe.
I think that's fair, yeah.
I know what has been banned.
Okay, so we'll give you the bans ahead of time. We're not dance around it.
Yeah. We will not be seeing the Enslaved deck.
Okay, so there is no Enslaved list, so we will not be looking at it. It is one of the most banned lists in the tournament, alongside Lined Pockets. There has been a bit of a pattern in terms of the players' bans. If a player has Lined Pockets, it gets banned, unless this Enslaved list happens to be there, in which case the Enslaved list gets banned. It is a powerhouse, we're going to ignore it and move on.
And we're moving on to another powerhouse, and that is the Patricide, the Fury, Skellige. It's everything you like, it feels like. You know, it's like cherry pick the good things from Skellige, because it's Sov, it's Swallblood, it's Sigwald, it's Nut, it's also Verification.
It is. This is pretty much the meta Skellige list right now. One I'm a little bit worried for that it will get over-nerfed in the coming first round of Gwentfinity, but let's get past that for now. As you've mentioned, it is the Svalbard Svove list that everyone's come to know. It is quite control-heavy. It is rather a strong one as well, and it's got everything you want. Kertrold, very powerful. All of the damage and irritation of self-wound. This list can be really meta-awkward for a lot of other things. You do mention the Verification, the Heat Wave, both of those being there to deal with other scenarios effectively, or whether things like Novigrad. Almost every list in the game is running some sort of artifact or location right now. Certainly the meta ones, you're going to find good value from those things, proactively or otherwise.
Definitely. Okay. And another one is the other very common ban target, that is the Syndicate list. Very much focused on Vice, Open Sesame, things that you've seen around and that you've probably faced on ladder, but also, and I like this, the Madame Serenity. I like the addition. She's a very good thing early on, as you get your Sly Seductress and the Peaches from her, and those are good engines to have around. So that is the Syndicate deck that Lian is bringing. And then the Pincer Maneuver, which is Nordolam's Muta Generator Shoop. I don't like, I'm happy to see Shoop. I'm conflicted about the amount of a Muta Generator that we will see in this tournament, genuinely.
Yeah, so this list has been very strong meta for a little while. This is a It's all around the mutagenerator. It's all about the carryover you can build for that crazy size Erland, paired off with some of Gwent's least favourite cards, alongside the Erland of Larvik. It is the Temple of Melitele, of course. All of the extra buffs from Iris and Iris's companions as well. The players have taken 2 different looks at this, mostly 4 provision cards, so that you get that extra consistent benefit from Mutagenerator as well. So that is pretty much Lian's lists. That is one of our players. Yep. Our second, this is Joe. Now, I know that doesn't translate directly to Joe, but Joe it is. So Joe is bringing some similar lists, but not entirely. Across the 4 players who are here, there are 7 different deck lists. So there's a consistency across 3 lists in particular that people believe are the correct lists. This Guerrilla Tactics list from Joe, for instance, I adore. It's really good at targeting the Patricidal Fury list. It's Milva movement with... this list, when you first look at it, just looks mad. It looks like it doesn't make any sense, and yet it is fantastic. Simless for the Double Armorer's Workshop, allowing you to slam down a Dennis Cranmer in a short round 3. Incredible. Frenzied down with just a singular Rock Barrage because he doesn't have any construct friends. Great thinning, great movement, great damage, and control. Shiru makes some matchups really difficult for everybody concerned. Curse of Corruption targeting things like the Sove awkwardly still runs a Heat Wave, as you'll notice. Heat Waves are in almost every list right now. The ability to deal with things like the Novigrad in Line Pockets lists, or just having toll removal for some of these key threats, absolutely crucial. I love this list. Is it not? I don't think it's going to be banned.
I think we only see it once. Nobody else has brought it.
It's the only player bringing this, yes.
Joe is the only player bringing it, and it has not been banned.
Superb.
The Syndicate list has been banned for Joe. So, like we've said, it's either the Enslave or the Syndicate, and it has been the Syndicate for Joe here.
Okay.
The second deck is very similar, if not
it's nearly identical. A few tweaks in the 4Ps. There's an Epidemic in here, and 2 Squirrels instead of 2 Halfroos. But it's Foulblood Sove. It's Foulblood Sove. We are reliably informed that he goes by Joe.
And that is his chosen name.
That's his chosen name.
We did not choose it for them.
Yeah, we didn't choose it for him. Joe is the name we've been asked to use for this player, rather than the direct translation.
Which we don't know, but...
So Joe it is.
Joe it is.
So, yeah, the Foulblood list... It's a heavy red coin list that is very, very aggressive. Maybe in a potential mirror you would want to try and grab this on blue. But honestly, I think most, if not all times we see Patricidal Fury by choice will be on red coin unless it's game 3 and you're 2-0 up and you happen to be blue.
And Joe is going on blue coin in the first game, by the way.
Joe is blue in game 1. The Line Pockets list is banned, but it is exactly what you would expect. It's the same Line Pocket list, all around the open sesames, creating more with shady vendors, building up that hidden extra coin purse, and going all kinds of vice crazy with Acherontia and Ixora.
And then, last but not least, yet again,
it is
the Mutagenerator Printer Maneuver.
This one has an Igni, so old Gary of Rivia is in here ready to burn things down. But it is a very similar list with an exactly similar strategy. This one, a slightly more flexible matchup by matchup, which coin you're going to take, I suppose. In the mirror, going first can be really nice, provided you don't lose on even. It's a very strong list. It's definitely one that you would consider heavy, heavy meta. There's not much more you can say about it, really.
No, for some reason my brain said heavy, heavy metal. I was like, oh, we're doing that today. No.
Yes, no heavy metal. So,
okay, I think we have about 2 minutes before we start. I could be a little wrong, but we'll see.
Yeah, the games are coming thick and fast and pretty quick, so we're very hopeful. The technical issues that are YouTube side, hopefully, will be the case. And oh wow, just before we get started, it looks like we're joined by a lot of people coming across.
Welcome in the Chonky Raid.
The Chonkies are here to see Gwent's final official qualifier cast.
We can't talk about it. It's really...
It's difficult.
This is emotional for us, okay? It's the last ever Top 64 qualifier.
Yeah.
Hello, Liz. Hope you had a lovely time. We
Hello.
are just about to jump into the casting, which means a little less chatting with
Yes.
chat. But we appreciate all of the lizards you brought along.
Welcome in, everyone. It's great to have you here. This is Gwent Esports, the official cast. If you haven't seen Gwent The Witcher 3, trust me,
It's better.
Yeah, it's grown up, it's got a beard, it's moved out, it's shaved again, and it's here for it. And thank you so much. We really appreciate it, you wonderful being. We are on the verge of getting started. Our two finalists, winner goes to World Masters. It's going to be incredible. Some brilliant lists. We know that Joe is starting on blue coin.
Indeed.
Which means, of course, his opponent Lian is starting on red. It is going to be quite the series. I don't think there's a favourite in this. We are finding out who's going to be in the lower bracket final as well. And quite a few big names will not be making it to Masters this time around and have already dropped.
This time?
Yeah, forever.
For the entire time, yeah,
So
that is it.
it is indeed. We are just waiting for those players to get started. So, I'm going to try and think what I expect the players to take here now. If Joe is on blue coin...
Joe is on blue coin, indeed.
Yeah, Joe is on blue coin. It's a difficult one. From Joe's lists, Joe has gone with the Northern Realms. I think he's taking on red. Because of his
Squirtle.
lineup, he tends to be bringing this Squirtle list through on blue.
Yeah.
I like it on red more. I've been playing with this list all week and it is superb. It's really good fun. It can be fine on blue. I prefer it on red, but his lineup is quite red coin heavy. Skellige 100% is a red coin, and he's been taking NR on red as a preference. So I expect we'll get to see the Squirtle list first.
Okay, that would be great.
We love a little bit of Squirtle over here, so...
A little bit.
Okay, all the Squirtle. And the only person repping Squirtle who is
It's
remaining.
Joe.
So let's
Come
go,
on.
Joe. We really appreciate Joe for that. So hopefully we will see that first. I have a feeling we might. That means, of course, the opponent Lian. Now, Lian doesn't have his Nilfgaard list,
Nope.
which doesn't surprise me at all. That enslaved list is probably what you're going to face for the next few days. On red coin, the problem is normally he'd want to queue his Skellige list here. But I don't like the Skellige list into what he's expecting, which is Squirtle, so he'll probably bring through Syndicate, I think. That's kind of what I'm expecting to see.
Okay, that will be interesting. Yeah. Are we...
Um,
Oh. I am having some technical information here.
okay, we don't reveal it because obviously
We're not
we're gonna
reveal it.
we know there are technical issues in game one, is what we're gonna say.
Yeah.
The world, the internet, and everything in between is struggling at the moment. There appears to be, I'm gonna guess, the AWS servers, which host the entire world, are currently struggling. YouTube's live streams are down. If you are joining us from YouTube, though, it is amazing to have you here.
You are very talented then.
Good job. Game one is due to start. I think there is a technical issue in it, but we'll
see.
get to it when we get there.
Really appreciate you guys being here. Like we said, this is a big tournament because these people, we will have the last two people who
Yes.
will qualify from here to World Masters, and these are the last World Masters, the
Officially.
official ones for
Yes.
Gwent. We know and we hope
Yes.
that there is a lot of community future for Gwent.
Definitely. Well,
What will that look like? We'll see after the New Year's, but
Well, I have
I
a
know
hunch
it
we
will
might
look
hear
like
before.
us.
Yes, it will definitely look like us. I have a feeling we'll hear a lot more about what other things are coming next year in Gwent in the coming months. I know. It's difficult. It's going to be an emotional one.
It is emotional.
Exactly. But
Excuse me.
for these players right now, they've got no time for emotions. They just want to win. And whoever wins this series to best of 5 will go through to weekend 1. Oh, darling. It's okay.
I got married because of Gwent.
That's true, yes. Quite literally. So, how about we stop teasing you and we get ready to go. This is game 1. It is going to be Joe taking on Lian. Winner of the series heads to Masters, but the loser is not done yet. they will drop into the lower bracket for a second chance at qualification. And that noise that came from the PC was each of you individually, so if you could check your settings, I'd appreciate it greatly. That was definitely you.
Work is calling. Sunday scaries are here. Also, these are best of 3.
Best winner, yeah, best of 3.
Best
So
of
best,
3,
yeah,
yeah.
best of 3. Well, it's the first 2-3, so it can be best. It's best of 5, first to 3 wins.
Yeah.
Yes. So here we go. We're just waiting for the 2 players to jump in.
Ooh.
It is time now. Obviously, everything is done on a delay, so the overlay doesn't work.
Sadly.
So don't worry about that. Don't try and use the overlay or have anything to do with it because it is not here today.
It's not you, it's Gwent.
It's not you, it's Gwent, and it's not you, it's YouTube, okay?
True indeed. So we'll see when we get into the game. We can see the little eyes though.
I know,
The
because this is
observer's
the problem. The
yeah.
the
The
observer
observer's
thinks
there
it's
for-
there. So
Just don't get, don't get too confused.
yeah, and that command's definitely not right, Bassaside. But I trust you. Okay, here we are. We are
So-
into game 1.
Just so you know,
Ooh.
Gwent Test 328 is Joe.
It's Joe. Yeah.
Lyrian's obviously Lyrian.
Yes, it
And
is.
we are indeed seeing the Scoia'tael, and we're Skellige, which no we predicted.
So, well, Lyrian. I expected the Scoia'tael list.
Yeah.
I'm a little surprised at the Skellige list just being played directly into it, but it is its coin of choice. It is where it's comfortable.
Yeah.
I really like this list, the Scoia'tael list into Skellige, and I think it's an interesting matchup. We're going to see what's going to happen here. It's Self-Wound Svalbard Sove against movement kind of control Scoia'tael.
It's a very interesting one because I don't think you expect the armor Dennis combo that is being pulled off in this deck.
Yeah,
'Cause-
and if you haven't seen it, you don't know,
No,
right?
yeah, if you haven't seen it, it's not something that we've really seen
No.
on ladder before until like a month ago, right?
Yeah, and well, this one particularly jumped around in the high ends of ladder just before the top 16 qualifiers and
Yeah.
did really well there too. My favourite Gwent animation, I think, is the little the hammer.
It's great, it's brilliant.
Absolutely love it. And these players are not messing around. This is some Blitz Gwent. For Joe, he is just setting up everything on his side here, getting the armor down, getting the value of these cards. His
Yeah.
hand, not too bad. The squirrel will be really useful into this and has a beautifully set up Milva as well there. She can jump, she can move, and remove another target.
She can move, she can jump, she returns.
She can do it all! She can do it all. Yes, she
Gwent
can.
Test is Joe.
Yeah, it's Joe.
The Chinese player that is chosen to be called Joe.
Yeah, Chinese. That's Gwent Test is Joe. Some people might know them as Situ. Joe is the name, and you can see now Lyrian on red coin doesn't have to stay into this round. Can just jump out. Has given away one of the Drakars, but that's fine. Nothing too scary here. And so far for Joe, so good. Bless you.
Thank you. I was right.
You are welcome. Good job. And so, players drawing is going to have to give a little bit more in this round now, as I do fully expect this to go. The squirrel's gone because it's not going to do too much. Is he going to draw into Brick City? He doesn't.
No, and gets a maxi, which could be really useful into not getting Brick City in round 3. That would be amazing.
It would.
For Joe.
Ooh, great
Lyrian
mulligans.
also drawing really well.
Yeah, and this is Maxi starting things off, missing both of the control options and only just grabbing the Frenzy Dow. You could decide, because you've got 2 Aneros, I would probably stick with that. Ooh, no.
I might have chosen to put the workshop on the bottom just
Maybe.
to make sure.
Yeah.
And possibly getting both hit by a Curse of Corruption, because you really wonder.
Yeah, you do. Well,
Yeah,
Blue
we'll see.
is in and deciding here and is going straight for the Heat Wave. And we say farewell very, very quickly to Kertrold. That card is very, very powerful. We have lists running Bearification unironically to help deal with it.
Yeah.
That is the world we are currently
Well,
in.
And Joe says, you know what? I'm happy to take it to round 3. Let's go.
Yeah, okay, wow, okay. He just goes it. Oh, and here may just be the technical issue.
We were informed that there is a technical issue.
Yes.
We'll see if this is it.
Yes, there's a chance that there is in game 1 a disconnect issue. We are, of course, casting on delay here. So we have some insight into issues that may or may not be coming, but we have no idea about results. So it looks like this will be that. I will move us.
We can wait it. Probably is.
Now, we'll move us across. Unfortunately, Lian has suffered a connection issue in game 1. We wanted to still show it you and help see it play out, seeing how deep this game got. Unfortunately, end of round 2, Lian's internet has disconnected. As a result, game 1 goes to Joe. Joe is now 1-0 up.
So Joe has won with the Squirtle deck, which is quite sad because then I don't get to see it actually play out.
You're now not going to see any more of it. What I will say is I quite like the matchup for the Squirtle player. I don't think that has caused absolute chaos. Obviously, it could have gone in either direction at that stage. However, game 1.
Yeah, we now know that Lian at that point that you've seen truly lost connection. Joe takes it.
Yeah.
So now Joe has the Syndicate and the Northern Realms deck left.
No, his Syndicate would have been banned. Joe doesn't have Syndicate. Joe's Syndicate is banned. So he's got his own Skellige, which he will probably now bring on red. Yeah, he will now return the favour effectively and bring Skellige. I expect Lian to switch across. We're just looking at their deck list here. Maybe now he goes into Syndicate or could push for that mirror. I've seen quite a few of them aiming for it this weekend, it seems. Certainly today. I've seen quite a few of them queuing on Blue Coin for that potential mirror. We can't click that. We've got the alert on the center of our screen from the live feed for connection lost, and I've gone to click it about 4 times, and my brain keeps going, no, you can't do that. But I believe the connection issues are no longer the case. Touch wood.
We haven't heard anything from Gio again, and we are jumping in right into second game. Go.
Into game number 2 we go. So coins are flipped. Joe is 1-0 up in what might be the fastest win we've had in a very long time, unfortunately due to a disconnect, but there you go.
It's always sad to see, but equally that's just how sadly online gaming works.
Yeah, it can be the case, unfortunately, everyone knows.
We nearly had no top 64 at all because YouTube was misbehaving, so yeah.
And there are quite a few internet issues worldwide at the moment with YouTube servers not working for live streams and quite a few other things having issues as well. Let's hope that the rest of this goes through nice and smoothly. And if you are over on YouTube, hello, it's great to have you. Apologies if you are getting latency problems. It isn't us. We're doing our very best. Yeah, I was going to say, it's not us, it's YouTube, not you. But we're trying, okay? We're still live there. And if you want to come across to Twitch, of course, you are more than welcome over here. There you go. And
no worries at all. Choose whatever's more comfortable for you. And oh god, the internet is keeping us on our tiptoes today, huh? With all the loading and all the everything.
It is.
So let me just check that everything's going well.
We're just trying to get as much information as we can.
Everything's fine.
So far, so good. And to answer the World Masters thing, in terms of the actual event being in person, I believe the case is no. That isn't going to be the case, unfortunately. However, there is a plan for a big meetup for World Masters, is my understanding. There is a big Discord group for that, and there are a few people. You can always ask us in Discord, and we can point you in that direction, because I know a lot of people are planning on attending anyway, effectively.
Storming!
We will storm the castle, yes.
They can't stop us, it's too many of us.
I think the people are planning a big watch-along in real-life event in Warsaw, so if anyone is interested in that, you can drop into Discord and we'll try and point you in the right direction and see what's what. Obviously, players just preparing themselves. This is game 2.
The cosmetics are an important part of the games. You know, you have to be prepared with your lucky card back, your lucky leader.
I'd probably just be, if I'm Lian, sort of getting myself together after a disconnect loss.
True. Running around,
yeah.
disconnecting the modem and connecting.
Pretty
again,
much, yeah, pretty much restarting everything and hoping we have no further issues. It's always tough when it goes that way.
Yeah.
I'm curious now. I wouldn't be surprised to see a Skellige mirror, actually.
Yeah, I think that could be an option, and they tend to be really interesting, especially with Svalbard just triggering stuff.
Wow.
On and on and on.
A very
right?
different strategy when you're playing Self-Wound Svalbard in a mirror to almost anything else. Never mind, okay, that didn't
That didn't work.
You know what? We weren't aware of that. Obviously, that didn't connect, which means the game hasn't started. We'll find out what's going on with that. I will quickly have another look at the two-player in question's decks.
Yeah, let's check.
And throw us over here. So, Lian, in fact, you know what? Let's start with Joe. So, for Joe, his Scoia'tael list is through. His Scoia'tael list has got a victory. He has no problems whatsoever on that front. His Syndicate list is banned. So he still has the option of Patricidal Fury and Pincer Maneuver here, both of which he seems to prefer on red coin, but could take either of them now as he is going on to that red coin.
And we try again for game 2.
Yeah, looks like we're loading back in, so I won't have time to talk about the opponent. Hopefully, we are in now, he says. Hopefully, if not, if I do...
Hovering over the
I'm just hovering
button.
the button. Okay, I'm going to quickly switch over to it anyway.
Let's go.
So this is Lian, disconnected in game 1, and the Enslaved list is banned, is flipping across now onto blue coin. I wouldn't be surprised to see that Patricidal Fury queued on blue for a weird mirror, but if he doesn't, a versatile line pockets list certainly is an option, and we shall see if he chooses Pincer Maneuver. I'm kind of expecting a Patricidal Fury mirror, strangely enough.
Yeah. I'm feeling it.
Yeah, and in terms of the Katakan skin, it is a bug that people are aware of, and there is something being dealt with as far as I know. For now, no Katakan.
Yeah.
Kata can't.
Kata.
Kata won't.
Check him. Let's go.
There may be
Hopefully,
technical
let's
issues,
go
but
in.
I'm still funny, damn it. Here we go. Game two. Hello, darling.
Hello. So, yeah, we won't see Syndicate mirror.
Wow. But we'll see a Northern Realms one.
Though. Wow.
Okay, Gwent Test deciding to put this NR list further, and it is going to be an NR mirror. I think both players here going through a realm of what am I deciding, what shall I use, how shall I do it. This is going to be an interesting one. It's who gets more carry over the card game.
Effectively, yeah.
This is going to be quite the matchup. Hand-wise, I can see Iris in one, but her companions in the other. And a lot of time, this series weirdly comes down to who gets more of their neutrals. Because, of course, no consistency outside of your leader ability, and that cannot grab neutrals.
We're seeing Rune Mage in both, which is really important for choices.
Yeah.
Gwent Test is Joe.
Yeah.
So that's what we're seeing here. And otherwise, shoot for both, but not that many neutrals.
No.
None for Joe, if I'm looking correctly, apart from Shoop.
No, Joe.
And Iris,
Shoop, Iris hasn't found Iris's companions though, and is jamming the Shoop. Of course, after Rune Mage, he is now going to destroy the artifact and render Mutagenerator. Completely redundant here. Not good for Lian as he has no carryover, but he is now going to return the favor.
Great early Rune Mage for Joe here.
Yes.
Because then they had access to the entire Shoop.
Very much so. For those of you over on YouTube, YouTube's live streaming service is having a serious issue right now. We are doing our best to keep you up and live, but you will be having serious lag problems. We apologise. We are live on Twitch as well, on twitch.tv/Lionheart if you're struggling.
I'll put it into the chat and you please focus on the
no
cards for a
problem.
second.
So, we have got Joe here is pulling out his Melithali's Temple. Instead, he does have the Radovid, so those leader charges are a little bit more usable. And oh boy, those are some choices. Raven and Kimbolt will end up thinning more than you're bargaining for in this list, I think, if you want the carryover. But I don't think you're going to expect the carryover. So I'm curious to see what has been selected. We cannot hover over, but hopefully our lovely camera friend will. Again, He took the second set of choices pretty quickly, so I'm assuming it's going to be the defender to try and make it. And they do, of course. Kimball, Bo Holtner Dandelion. Love to see it. Love to see it. And I believe turnabout is indeed fair play. Now I don't hate Radovid Judgment as a take from that. That's really great. Guaranteed thin and a few extra points, plus the order ability to boot. Effectively going to be worth a lot.
That was really quick. Didn't get to really see it.
We saw Henselt in there.
Yeah.
So we will find out together. Okay.
So these are super speedy games, though.
Yes, they are.
These players want to be in Masters. You know, they're like, oh.
They do. Oh, dear.
And sadly...
Okay, again, I'm not sure what's happened there. Weren't expecting that either, so can you please get in touch while I try and deal with this?
I'm definitely doing that.
So, we honestly, no idea what just happened. You concentrate on that for me. Judgment's devotion only, of course, he wouldn't thin, that's right. I hate that it's devotion only, honestly, because it kind of renders the card redundant in this situation. It's a terrible shame. So currently we're trying to work out what's just happened with the live stream. We will get back to it as soon as we can. It's a difficult one when the technical issues pile up, my friends, and we are back in. So
let's go.
Yeah, let me get us back in. Okay, so we'll have missed a few moments, but everything is back. In the distance, the second temple was played. Both players have now jammed and grabbed themselves the Ansace for reach. You can see Mutagenerator has come down for Joe, and of course, not willing to be outdone, redone, changed, or moved. We can now see, again, not the same play. Instead, we see Shoop come down. Shoop Knight for damage. That is interesting.
Because now you're effectively letting Joe have the carryover from Mutagenerator, unless you're planning on heat waving it round later.
I guess you're going for reach instead, effectively, and he's taken the pass and he said, you know what, you're not going to get the value of this. I'm a little surprised he didn't take Resilient Shoop as a result.
Okay, yeah, true.
But either way, or if he did and perhaps it just hadn't loaded, not a huge amount of carryover gained, but more than his opponent, that's fair to say.
But a card down for Joe.
Yeah, which is okay. Not a problem here. Coming through on red coin, but he's won the round. He's happy with that and has drawn pretty well.
Okay. So, just a FYI for the technical things as well, we are not in control of the game getting to us. We're only getting the live stream, so that's why sometimes we are as surprised as you based on what things are happening on the screen.
Very much so.
Or not happening, to be fair. How is this looking?
So far, an instant pass going for the long round as we see Iris draw. Iris's companions draw Iris. Of course, Iris is going straight to the graveyard for a nice chunk of deck buff here. You can see Joe will be able to do the same, decided to hold on to Iris and the companions in this instance so that can mulligan away appropriately without risking any bricks. Will be very, very happy. Going into the long round, it's looking pretty even here. For Lian, still has the Ansace to answer some awkward things. On the other side, of course, the Heat Wave in hand as well, but no sign of Erland for... Oh, now it does mulligan it away. I'm always happy to see a Fury Merchant leave because the RNG just makes me sad. And
get it. So both of them have Erland.
Yeah. And looks okay.
Radovid as well.
Makes sense.
Makes sense.
Knowing that this Radovid, because of course the opponent has already used their Ansace, shouldn't really be an answer unless... I'm trying to think. I don't think there is. You basically have to just ignore it if you are Gwent Test here, or rather if you're Joe, and just say, you know what, it is what it is. We can see he did take the Kimbolt as well as the Elephant. That's you can't click that.
No,
it's like 30 minutes in advance.
Oh yeah, okay.
So you can't click that because no.
Okay, I can't.
So yes, we are looking now, and he does draw the Kimbolt. Kimbolt, of course, every time an order ability is used, it will pull out a unit of the same power as the unit that used an order ability. That is a mouthful, provided, of course, that there is one in the deck. It will reduce the value of the Erland because it's going to thin, but will continue on the other side as we see the Boholt played, not greeting the formation, knowing what's still available, trying to set up bonus engines. I can see the logic here from Joe. But that is a crude war elephant.
Wow, okay.
It's a rarity, but you love to see it.
It was like 3 years ago when war elephant was actually around.
Yeah, and even then, honestly, I'm not quite sure
really.
it was around,
yeah,
you know.
Yeah. It was just here.
Yeah, it was doing its best.
Yeah.
It was doing its best.
Okay.
So, what are we going to see now? It's still with Lian here and just takes the click because, of course, it has cooldown. He will be able to click that again.
Okay, yeah.
And gets the heat wave for the other engine, allowing the leader charge to come through and saying that's not really a concern to me. The concern for me is the value of that engine. It's already at 6, with obviously its value as well with Grace.
Yeah, Grace.
Yeah, and just as a consistent engine, it is a lot. We draw, however,
nice.
old Gary is here.
Here to save the day, possibly.
Yeah, Iris goes. Lots of buff in there. It's about equal in terms of deck buff right now, probably slightly in Joe's favour by a point or two, but that Igni could be pretty big. Of course, that's the one consistent way you can grab a neutral, effectively, the Iris Companion, so it's not just about the deck buff, it's a really nice little benefit.
So,
Ooh.
So while it's looking like Lian has way more points right now, what can Joe do to catch up?
It's going to be, honestly, it's going to be quite tough for Joe.
Yeah.
Realistically, he's going to want to try and get this Dandelion down on the board and get it to stick for as long as possible, get as many points as possible so that he ends up with a sizable and pretty tasty Erland, and his opponent is then left wanting. As you said, it's a 20-point gap roughly. The Igni is great as an answer if your opponent's Erland was huge, but I'm pretty sure it's always going to be a sizable elephant that ends up being that. It's great because it's your last play choice anyway.
Makes sense,
Erland is second to last, and usually last say in this ends up being a pretty big deal. Now the answer is it didn't immediately drop, and we can see here Joe just buffing and buffing and buffing, grabs himself Kimbolt, probably gets rid of the bronze.
Yeah, makes sense.
As well. Has he got a 7 in deck? He does, oh my.
Wow, okay.
So, when he clicks and chooses to use Yaskia here and the order ability, he is then going to summon, I believe...
The 7, you mean?
In theory.
Yeah. There's no other 7. There's
and he
just
gets the lock.
Yeah.
That's huge value here. Kimbolt, both players managed to create Kimbolt. It's such an incredible card, in my opinion. Hugely underrated. And now, is he going to take out Kimbolt or is he going to take out Yaskia? Because this is a horrible spot.
Well, it takes a Kimbolt. Makes sense.
Kimbolt it is.
So now it's suddenly looking a little better. Because obviously Igni will remove
the
17.
Yeah, Igni's hitting the 17. A little surprised that was what he chose to lock instead of Henselt. Because I don't think he's going to ever get 2 of them together, if that makes sense. But he still has his own Kimbolt to drop down as well. There isn't a huge amount of value in that Erland right now in his deck. You can see it's maybe 2, 4, 6, it's 20 points. So it's still okay. It's not terrible. But the Kimbolt, of course, could potentially result in stuff being pulled out. Everything's a little bit too tall for that to be the case. So I guess he's going to have to hold it for that.
Probably.
Max points on this.
And Igni comes last, so it will actually have a different target based on what's down actually at that point.
Yeah, now this is going to be close.
Lian still has full leader.
Yeah, he does, and you can obviously target your row of choice now with the leader ability as well, which is always nice.
And that just adds value for Erland in deck, right?
Yeah, well the Erland, there you go.
There you go. Okay. Let's see what it... So we are now... over 100 points for Lian, right?
Yeah, it's...
Well over.
Yeah.
And
Did he just...
no-leader the second time, but so Igni takes that.
And he wins it by a mile. Because the swing is insane.
Yes.
The Igni, and the difference there, that Igni obviously being a very, very powerful change, but he had the bigger Erland by quite some stretch.
Who has the bigger Erland?
It is an Erland contest. It is an Erland contest right now.
That was indeed the game.
It was.
And it turns out that, it was Joe.
It was. And the big thing in that matchup, especially when you end up in that mirror, last say so that your Erland has a chance to survive as opposed to your opponent's, is absolutely... Well, you can see how much of a difference that makes. From round one, having more carryover than his opponent, his Erland was always going to be bigger, but that's not necessarily it. The whole way through, that Erland was in perceived control point-wise, but...
Can you show us what's the last deck that Joe is bringing really quickly?
Yeah, sure, I can. So Joe's final deck, Joe has just the one deck remaining, and it is Patricidal Fury, so he will now consistently be taking that list. He's got 3 shots to get through. His opponent, Lian, Enslave is banned and has all 3 lists up on your screen right now. So you will be able to see.
2-0 for Joe, right?
Joe is 2 up.
This could be the last game for them.
Yeah, this could be the last game of this series if Joe takes it. Joe, of course, on blue coin, though, with his Patricidal Fury list, definitely not its favoured position. It tends to prefer being a red coin deck. That doesn't say it can't win from the position that it's in. Lian flips back now and goes on to red coin.
Yep, let's go.
Yeah.
Well, we are ready.
We're ready. The players are on their way.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be long. And we're hoping that... I always like it when the series go a little bit longer. I like a nail biter.
I was like, what are you hoping for? I'm hoping for Gwent.
I want more Gwent. And here's the thing. Being 2-0 down, I've said this a lot, is obviously it's bad, but it's not the end of the world.
It's not undoable, yeah.
Because the reverse sweep is a powerful position. Your opponent has to bring a deck, and he's got 2 shots on his unfavoured coin. You know what your opponent's playing. They don't know what you're playing initially. You can cherry pick the coin that puts you in the very best spot, save your list that is strongest against it for its favoured matchup, and go from there. We do appear to not currently have player names. Whether we have leader abilities, we'll see.
So Joe is Savior.
Oh, we do, it's fine.
We do. Okay, it's
okay.
bad. So Joe was Lian. Joe bringing the Skellige.
Yeah.
Lian here with the same Northern Realms again.
Yeah, he is going again with this Northern Realms list, fancying it. He has preferred it on red typically across. And of course, Joe has no other choice but to bring this.
Okay.
It's a good looking opening.
This is the one with Verification and Heatwave, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so Joe's list does have a decent number of tech choices in it. For a powerful list in its own right, it has multiple ways to deal with that muta generator, and you've seen how important that can be. Oh, good lord. I just see cultists and go,
Doesn't matter that there's nothing else with them. But
they're completely unsynergistic.
Oh,
now, the one thing I will say, typically for this matchup, if you find both of those, both of the boats, you're usually in a pretty good spot on blue coin here if you are the Patricidal Fury player. Has got access to both as well. As we see.
Griffin just tickles me.
Okay, well, it's and again.
Twice.
Yeah, I personally think Meve was the right choice there. I would be taking Yaskia here. The hand buff can be really important, especially when you assume your opponent has answers to your typical options.
Oh, we got Philippa, Henson, and Vorelephant.
Okay, interesting. Philippa's a curious choice against Self-Wound.
Against Self-Wound, but I guess since you don't really have much removal... but you have Ensize, you have Heat, but you do actually.
Yeah. So. I'm not sure about that. But we'll see.
We'll see. Maybe.
We'll see how that goes, and we will go from there. As of course, manages to click the tempo at the right point to bring through that Ensize. The reach that gives, I wouldn't even have been too surprised if some players had dropped that there. I don't expect Lian to be one of them because, of course, you have to answer that Svalbard and you have to answer it quickly. If you don't, you're in trouble. This may be the fastest heat wave in the entire world.
Oh, we'll see, yeah.
Unless, it could be a Nero, though.
3. Not yet, okay.
Yeah.
So now start 3, 2,
Nero
it's
into
only on.
verification.
No.
Forget it. Straight in with a heat wave. Oh, now
3 seconds on the
if
ball.
the Igni was in, I don't know if Lian, I don't think Lian runs Igni.
No.
Now I think about it. So as tasty as that Igni on the front row would have been in the matchup previous, not an option now. And of course, Mutagenerator has been removed.
Very quickly.
Yes.
Short-lived.
Yeah.
Not a good machine to keep around, you know. And this is 2-0, so possibly a winning game for Joe.
Ooh, yes.
So
Now,
we'll see how that goes.
This is a really difficult spot. Lian happy to play down to 4 cards, but it's an awkward one. He does have the reach, but he'll have to give the Anses to get it. He's never going to try and high roll Shoop and swap unit. I would love that if it happened, and I would respect it beyond belief.
Exactly, but non-likely.
On board, he's got effectively 5 points. Could be 6, 7 points if he uses all of the charges into his engine, which he probably will do. But he's behind already by 16, 17, 18, 19 points right now. So he needs 20 here. Anses is the only thing that guarantees it. And as a result, that is exactly what he's going to do. Doesn't need any more.
Because otherwise, Joe also had points coming up all the time because of the priest with the Drakkar. So
yeah, have to be mindful of
it
it.
had to be removal.
But it's a wonderful pass there from Joe because getting rid of that Anses is one of the biggest removal threats. When you can manage to succeed in doing that,
okay,
it removes the reach and removal a little bit later. So it's a really nice pass. Losing that round, not a bad situation when you can bully that kind of thing out of it.
So what are we seeing now? Joe has the Svalbard Newt. We haven't seen Sigwald, but we have So.
Yes.
And what is Lian missing? No.
Not a great... he pulls the Redea, of course. Goodbye. We will see Iris farewell. And Lian again, last say in this matchup, pretty crucial. Wouldn't be surprised to see him not play after this point, but could do. He could decide to push a little bit further here. He does for the Shoop, of course, to delete Kertrold. I'm assuming anyway. Obviously, I'm just going ahead of myself, but Kertrold absolutely has to go. Not using the heat wave on it, the Shoop really useful in this situation because it's a little bit of extra tempo as well here. Now, Joe likely
spending the unneeded to have the Bloodthirst to obviously have the engine going now. So
he does offer a pass, a nice little boost there as well, saying absolutely not, your Bloodthirst does not belong in the Northern Realms. A little bit awkward here, is keeping himself ahead, but could end up giving away that vital last say. Has plenty of chance with something. You can play Radovid for now. The Squirrel will be valuable to remove something, but only once it's in the graveyard. So it's a difficult spot.
So we're seeing the totem for Joe coming down. No Bloodthirst on the board right now, so the engine's not ticking. And that was first on Aromancy, right?
It was, and constantly offering a pass here as well will feel reasonably okay. And another...
No artifact survives when they are against Lian, and I get it.
Yeah.
Because they're
and that may seem weird.
For Skellige.
Yes.
The totem is a constant source of more and more self-damage, which especially when you're playing Svalbard is good. Because now Joe is struggling to actually turn these around.
Yeah, how is he now going to create the damage? But it's not worrying for Lian. He is just saying, okay, I'm going to keep playing. How are you going to do the damage you're looking for right now? Of course, Knut finds a way. And that converts 1, which converts 2, which converts 3, which goes boom, 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 boom.
Boom, boom, indeed.
Yes, and that's a lot of points.
That's a lot of boom.
He chooses to keep playing, though, and of course is now squirreling away the Aneromancy. And here's the thing. You have to keep playing. You have
so speedy.
And he has the ability to keep pushing here and bleeding, because reach isn't really an issue until this point.
Yeah.
Any card that wasn't Erland there would have cued him to know, okay, actually it's not safe. A nice bleed, last say gone, but no Igni, no Curse of Corruption, I don't believe, in this Skellige list. So Erland should be safe overall. Should.
So what are the draws here? Maxi's useless now in round 3.
Yeah.
So we're probably not seeing her for much longer. Sigvald without Knut, but Knut could be brought back with Reed, so that's alright.
Yeah.
I'm wondering what did Joe miss, but probably not much based on what we can see. Dwyn is sad.
The Dwimbiandra is
That's a break.
yeah. Dwim and Maxi is pretty poor here for Joe. Effectively, they are as useful as a chocolate fire guard. You don't want those dead 10 points. Even with the extra card, I would say he's now at a bit of a disadvantage here. Going into Lian. Lian with all of those points, of course, that
And
aren't going to be
everything lined
touchable.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very nice as well.
Wow.
As the War Elephant dropping down very, very nicely. The lock as well, just sitting in Lian's hand. As soon as you start to see some value, or
Yeah.
Knut comes back, goodbye. Or Sigvald. Or
But then we have Pella, the MVP, ready to save the day.
MV Pella is in there. Could he be the difference?
And we'll see.
This is going to be really tough because the choice of Sigdrifa target's massive right now. He has to decide which way am I going to do this. I could bring back Knut. I believe Svalbard is still there because the Aneromancy's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, so which of the two is he going to choose? Probably the Knut, and should start stacking value on it as quickly as possible. Turning off the crew ability and beautifully blocking the crew ability now
Makes
as well.
sense, yeah.
Giving himself as many points as possible.
But then again, you have 10 dead points. How much can Sov be?
Sov will be, I think it depends on how much Bloodthirst can be attained. There's not a lot right now. He's going to need more Bloodthirst if he's going to make that work. He's got the Sov themselves. Ooh, that's going to be rough. He needs the Canute to survive, which it should, because of course it will get locked.
Will it?
If you lock it,
Philippa.
he can then use it again. But if Philippa comes down and kills it,
Yeah.
I think that's game. And
That
it
is the game over.
Yeah, so that's 2-1 though.
Wow, that was a very nice, pick from Temple. Philippa saving the day there.
It was, I stand corrected. Philippa coming in clutch there.
Indeed.
As that extra little bit of removal needed. The lock always risked, of course, the chance to unlock. We saw Pella in hand. If he chooses to go down that route instead of removal, that still could have been a bit more in the balance. I think he was pretty favoured in the spot, but 2-1.
So that's 2-1 for Joe still.
Yes.
Joe still has to bring the Skellige again.
Yes.
Lyrian now can bring either the Norderlamps as well, or
Line pockets.
Line Pocket.
A list we haven't seen yet. Now, for Joe, this is the matchup where he's going to really, really need to win. Because it's red coin, this is where Patricidal Fury shines, and if he ends up going into this match against what I expect to be lined pockets and fails to win, he's then in a mirror against effectively the same list, and who knows? And that's going to be really tough. Obviously, Lian here, while he's a game down, kind of in the driving seat, because he has the choice. He can say what he wants to pick, what he wants to play, in comparison, knowing what coin it is. I would probably take line pockets here, but let's see.
Let's see.
If that's what happens.
Nearly in the game. Let's go in.
Yeah, we're nearly in the game. And for those of you occasionally seeing a subliminal buff Bursodi message, that is coming from Gio trying to encourage people to buff Bursodi. I believe it's an accidental click. He's trying to convince people to use their votes on that. It flashes up for like a third of a second every now and again.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, I can see it. It's very quick. So, and of course, I believe there's one more day if you've qualified for the first round of Gwentfinity votes. So make sure you get your votes in and buff Portal.
Guess Russ.
Yeah, that's the two things that are very important to us.
The Ginger Boy.
Yeah, I think he genuinely needs a power buff, but it looks like I was right. Lian here making what looks to me like the sensible decision in his spot, getting that line pockets through and giving himself the very best chance at taking this to 5 games. Joe here absolutely wants this.
Yeah, this is it. This
Needs
is
to be
the
done
winner's
now.
records. You want to go home and you want to start prepping for Masters.
Yes, he does. But will he be able to?
We'll see.
Terms of draws, has managed to find one of the Open Sesame.
Yeah, but we can't see Madame Serenity, so no thinning.
Yeah, no thinning initially on that.
Unless Vivaldi Bank brings that.
Yeah, Vivaldi could bring that. Neither of the thinning targets for that bricked in hand. And does have a Shady Vendor. I don't know, well, it's just my observation, but every time I've played in the last week, my opponents have guaranteed to hit Open Sesame every time, and I've faced everybody with 4. Will that be Lian's experience? I guess we'll find out.
So Open Sesame is in the graveyard now. Joe has the squirrel, but doesn't need to do it right away. So that can wait a second, I think.
He can. Now, he needs 1 more coin here, so he will have to use a single leader charge to kill this, but it is entirely worth it.
Yeah.
And going down to 0 twice there, which he did, also has now moved his first Open Sesame to 4 empty coin purses, making it a lot easier to play a second and a third concurrently.
That's a very early totem.
It is a very early totem here, and I think trying to take this game by the scruff of the neck, perhaps win on even, make things super awkward, and go from there. And yes, the score command is clearly very outdated. It's 2-1 in the favour of Joe, who is Gwent Test.
Yes, we make do with what's with available. It's not always the original account.
Yeah,
or like the original account name. So Gwent Test currently Joe.
Gwent Test is Joe, and we can see now, like this, just starting to get a little bit of value here. Build your engines up as well. Keep playing. The squirrel over on Gwent Test side, one of the reasons that you're running them, of course, is for the Sove, but the other reason to be able to remove
the Open Sesame.
Lots of different things in this meta.
So is this we're playing this,
and of course does find
Open
it.
Sesame short
Talent, but doesn't take it, and I actually like that. I really like that.
That's greedy.
Yeah, but it's trying to keep themselves in control of this matchup. Going just for the all-out greed, especially when there's a chance you're going to lose on even, could put you in a really awkward spot.
Yeah.
He's converting them himself.
Wow.
To that, I'm not so sure I'd have spent that extra coin there.
Probably
That's an
not.
interesting choice, whether that was a misclick or a... Interesting.
Okay, we'll see.
Trying to remove Svalblood deploy damage, I suppose, because if the Svalblood was dropped here, it would have been really, really problematic.
But it doesn't seem like that's the plan now anymore, really.
No, Gwent Test just keeping themselves ahead. An awkward hand here for Lian now.
Yeah.
He may have to Vivaldi Bank here, which is really awkward. The reason being, sure, he does have another, 2 power spender. That's an option. It's no problem. But using those, now this is big.
This is big, because potentially that means, unless you're going for 2-0, no candle in round 3.
Yes, and I think...
That is always a big commitment.
It is.
I mean, I'm just curious, what's the squirrel still doing squirreling in the hand?
It's just holding it for now. Not right now, no. It's too slow tempo right now.
True.
Gwent Test is trying to ensure they win this on even. The heat wave hovering there over the 12.
Okay.
Normally candle, but again, Gwent Test is smelling a little bit of blood here and saying, you know what? If I win this on even, your candle's gone. Because I will just pass on that thing.
True.
So, yeah, we'll see what happens from here on in. But the squirrel is now coming down, and I would be stunned if it is not that Open Sesame that has disappeared.
We have the lower bracket results.
Okay. So lower bracket results. Who is going through?
Do you want me to tell you?
Yes. Let's update them.
So we have comes out. It was 3-0 for in Nomine.
Wow. Cams
is out.
Gone.
We will not see.
We will not. Now
Cams in Masters, but back to here. Wow.
Okay, so we'll continue on, because that will be who is waiting for the loser of this series. Now, Lian just played Vivaldi Bank and had the opportunity to play Madame Serenity, but she was so far down that if he picked her, he would not have had the tribute value to do it. This is an aggressive round one
big.
From Joe.
Yeah, it almost feels like there's no other round. And Jesus, that 4-1 is gone before we could even talk about it. I was like,
and it makes sense.
Mind.
Svalblood comes and goes, but there is only 5 points in it right now.
Wow.
As a result, that is a very nice looking Maxi Van Decker. Easy. Probably leaving that alone based on what you're grabbing, but no access here to Kertrold might change that up. But if you're going for a 2-0, I would probably have left that alone, knowing that you have a Nero, just kind of taking stock of what's happening, and having to give the defender here as well to get back ahead. Really great job from Joe so far, just constantly having reach here.
And Joe hasn't used the Oneiromancer. We also haven't turned that 4.
No.
Possibly leaving it for Lian to hit.
Yeah, the one thing for Joe that is very unfortunate, that Epidemic is worth 1 point, I believe.
That is not great
Actually,
right now.
I think that's going to be the value of it. It might be able to kill, and I think it is just the lowest powered unit on the board.
I think so, yeah.
These
Which
days.
It
may just be a 4 provision, in which case it's 5 points for the unit on the back row. I can never remember what Epidemic does because it's not the most common. But now does manage to get out by spending almost everything here.
Yeah.
This is going to be an interesting one because the 2-0 potential right now, having kept Ixora, is real. Svalbard is gone. This is going to be a really curious round 2.
I'm really curious, to see.
And he didn't change either. He kept the order in place right now. Knows what his mulligans are going to be. Okay, and the second squirrel is a huge pull here.
Okay, so
massive.
Ixora and bronzes for Lian, but
and a brick.
Brick, the Madame Serenity that they don't have access to anyway.
They do not, and it's probably you're tempted to spend here, but considering he's given 5 of his 6 leader charges, he still chooses to. It's a brave choice. It is a very brave choice there.
Oh, I love to see it. I keep saying Mandrome, it can be an offensive card.
Yeah.
And sometimes these things, we've seen it before in qualifiers, that can make the difference, because that is the only spender we have.
Yeah, it's the only single point
Lian.
spender to make Ixora convenient. However, of course, now we do see, is he going to have to leave that there because he doesn't have the coins he needs to spend? In the graveyard is, I think it's 1 remaining, just 1 solitary remaining open sesame.
No,
chooses to protect
protecting. Now we're down to 0 coins.
Oh, I don't know about that.
How are we making more coins?
We're not.
We're not. We're poor.
No, wait, no. If the open sesame is down at 1 coin,
which we can't check currently,
which we can't see, if it's down at 1 cycle, he will be able to play Ixora, use his leader once, spend once, still doesn't gain enough coins. He only gains 4.
Don't think you're getting there ever.
No, you're not. Now that might be a miscount, because if I'm Lian, I'm out of here immediately. The other, using first the Nero to just use, probably, is he going to get care trolled on the board? He does.
Oh, okay. Wow.
This is close.
So, Lian, 2 cards. Joe, in the end, 2 cards as well.
Yeah.
However, Candle's out.
Yeah, Candle's gone.
Goodbye.
Almost all of the coin purse.
Yeah.
In fact, all of it but 1.
Well, meanwhile, Joe's location is still here.
Yes. Oh boy. Is he going to hold that squirrel?
I don't like this.
Probably not.
I wouldn't be holding the verification is then points for you, so that's alright. We didn't draw Madame Serenity unless...
Nope.
Yeah.
No, there's no Madame Serenity, and this is looking awkward. Okay, there is Evelyn Gallo.
That I've never seen premium of yet.
Yeah, well, if you've got no coins at the end of your turn, she will give you 3. However...
Not today.
This is looking decisive, but Novigrad is one of the best cards in Gwent right now. It's a little late in the day, but it could still save that day. However, the low value on something like Apella makes Ixora demonstrably worse here. And I think for Lian, he's just got to hold off, have as many coins as possible, and try desperately to greed this in one final big slam.
So what are we bringing if we're Joe? We have...
It's going to be Sigvald, I would imagine.
Yeah.
So, no! He's removing the spenders, banking on not enough existing.
Which is smart.
It is.
It makes sense, because if you don't have another spender being Lian, then...
And of course, and here's the thing. The next card that's played is also going to be destroyed, because Kertroll is going to smash that into you.
Clash, smash!
Yeah, it is going to, and it's, of course... None of those are choices you want to see, and I think that might just be all she wrote here, because there are going to be no spenders. He was desperate to find a spender from this.
Mm-hmm. But these are not the spenders you're looking for, so...
They're not spenders at all in reality. And I think we just had our first finalist here.
Let's see. Mm-hmm. Of course, because now, if I'm Joe...
he has to play Ixora and just... pray, but he knows there's nothing.
Yeah.
So he's just going to max spend here and hope that the clash is not sufficient. He's got 2 coins. Now the choice is going to be... Ooh, and no, that's it. He knows he can't make it.
See, that's it. So that means Joe is through.
Joe is going to World Masters.
And Lian's not going home. Lian is going to losers bracket to face...
Innomine Satanas.
Yeah, indeed.
Wow.
Can you mute us for a second?
Yes, so I will... I can't mute us, we don't have a mute button, so no. But never mind.
Enjoy my cold, chat.
Yeah. So what we have now, we have our first person qualified from the weekend, but don't worry. We now have another. You can now go through to see it's going to be Innomine Satanas who won through the lower bracket, taking us on and facing off against Lian. Now, that was an interesting series. I think Joe played phenomenally well.
Yeah. Lian also great job not getting crushed by technical issues. That can be horrible if that happens in the first game. Can be really soul crushing. So
it can.
They came super close to actually making it through.
Yeah, and played the series well. I think Joe, and in terms of picking matchups and making decisions, did a really good job. The matchup that was a disconnect, I think Joe was heavily favoured. I don't think that would have made much of a difference. And both queuing Northern Realms in that game too. Yeah. The coin position of that put Joe in a strong spot. Yeah.
So we now have 17 minutes to the lower bracket start.
Superb. Well, in that time, we're going to be able to run you through what's happening at World Masters, when it is, how it is, and of course the 2 players' decks as well.
Amazing.
So, would you like me to start off with the World Masters information?
Let's go.
So, we are going to take you through just a little bit of information, cheeky bit of information.
It's not easy. It's not that clear, not for everybody, honestly. I'm happy to see these infographics, so let's go. So,
we can see that this is how World Masters and who's qualified. We now add a name to the left. Joe joins them.
Yeah. So we have Plaza Express, Garage, Dresky, Samvanta, Magpie, and Mayamon.
Yeah.
Alongside
Karim Eid, Jamie One Hand, Katberger, and Bukowski, as well as Joe, of course.
Yeah. So these people will be playing in the playoffs or the group stage in the 2nd and 3rd of December. And they will, from all of these, only 6 of them qualify or go to the second weekend.
They do. We'll show you all about how that works in a second.
Yeah.
But you can see 2 names on the right-hand side. That is the winner of the mid-season tournament, Kaneki.
Yeah. And Payabol, who managed to get the most ground points. So Kaneki and Payabol are the only 2 people who currently have place at Masters guaranteed.
That's the second weekend
and
of
Masters. And that's the second, so that's the 9th and 10th, I believe.
Grand final.
And that's the Masters, you all know. The usual 6 people win it. 8 people, 6 plus 2. Winner takes it all.
Yes. So Masters this year is similar to the play-in format that we had at mid-season, which means there is a group stage. The 12 finalists from the 6 online qualifiers all go in, and only 6 of them will progress. So the first weekend, the 2nd and 3rd of December, those players will play in a double tournament format. 2 wins, and you progress in your best of 5 series. 2 losses, and you go home.
Yep.
It is as simple as that. The 6 players that progress will go through to the final weekend the grand finale, World Masters 5. The last official Gwent World Masters currently scheduled. And it is going to be one heck of an event. We already have 2 players in. 6 of the 12 will join them in that group stage weekend. It will all be over and viewed on Twitch across your favourite content creators' channels, including ours, and many, many others. The grand finals, as always, will be on CD Projekt's channel, as usual.
And in about 15 minutes, we will figure out who is the last person. Can you just put the names back for me for a second?
I can, yeah, no problem.
So these are all the people who will be fighting for the last Gwent Master title.
Yeah, all of these players are still in with a chance.
Plus Joe. And now it will be either Lian or in nomine
Satanis.
Yes. The last. So if you have any other favorite players,
they are not
on the screen. They're not there.
So many massive names missing from this. Former, open winners, some really great quality Gwent players over not just this season, but all time, who have been fighting to try and get here, have not made it. Current world, Spelling Bee, former world champion, not there. Has not managed to make it. You've got Kerpeten, Danerai, huge, amazing, very talented players. Lerio, one of the best ladder players, I would argue, in recent seasons, if not Gwent history.
Cams is out now as well.
Cams as well, just lost in the lower bracket. Very great players. But the lineup is filled with not just current quality, but I see old legends as well. Gravesh is in there. And Magpie as well, of course. Makes me very happy to see.
I'm personally super happy to see Mayamon.
Yes.
I love the style of decks he tends to bring to tournaments, so I'm really excited for Masters. But now, let's have a look at the decks, shall we?
Yeah, we're going to take you over to the players' deck list.
So, Lian.
We have indeed seen Lian.
Do you want to know what the ban is? Because I have the information.
We have the bans, so why not tell us?
Well, it's the same ban.
Of course it is.
Can you guess?
It's going to be Nilfgaard.
Oh no, we don't get to see Nilfgaard. What a
horror.
surprise.
So, in terms of the way the whole of this event has gone, the 2 lists that consistently are getting banned are Lined Pockets, unless the opponent is running this Enslaved Nilfgaard list, in which case it's this list that seems to be getting the ban over the Lined Pockets list. So we won't take a look at that because, quite frankly, we're not going to see it.
Yep. And then we can... Maybe you can take us through
I'll take you through it,
decks, and then I'll be back to have a look at the other.
Sounds good. So, we start off with the Patricidal Fury deck for Lian. It's the one you've just seen. It is Self-Wound, Foulblood, and Sove, all into one happy little party filled with misery, horror, and control. As you can see, it is a heavily red coin chosen list. Its win rate on red coin significantly higher than its win rate on blue, and in this lineup is absolutely designed for red coin. Pretty decent. The list overall is consistent across the players who have made it to this point, and is a really interesting deck list. It's one I think might suffer from over nerfing in Gwentfinity in the first votes, but let's wait and see. Another list that I think will get over-nerfed, potentially by the community, is this Lined Pockets list, but there is no doubting that it is a powerhouse of a list. It's a little bit more flexible than the rest of the lists in terms of its coin of choice, but it's all about those open sesames. It's all about getting that extra value, extending your coin purse effectively, so that you can drop the Acherontia, you can use Ixora, and exploit your opponent's vices. Delete, thin. Novigrad for me is actually the best card in this list in terms of total points and power, but perhaps it's an unpopular opinion, I don't know. And I love to see Madame Serenity in here as well. We've seen lots of techs across the players. As I said, the final 4 only had 7 different lists between them effectively, and the 4 on screen are the most consistent of those deck lists for sure. The outlier were Cam's lists. They were very interesting, and exclamation mark bracket will show you the deck lists that each of the players brought. But our final list is, of course, that pincer maneuver. It's a shoop list, which always makes me happy, but it's a mutagenerator list, which makes me sad.
It's very difficult.
It's so
you
overall,
want to love it, and it's
I think this list is an example of a perfectly built deck. It is it's incredibly consistent for all of your Northern Realms cards, which are massively crucial to your game plan. Your whole strategy is built around how you play your round 1 to make your round 2 better to give you a perfect round 3, whether that's a short one in some matchups or a long one with last say in others. The finding of the neutrals used to be more problematic, but Iris and her companions not only have synergy with your deck buff strategy, but also in your consistency as well. While it isn't everyone's cup of tea because we've seen it for quite a while, I don't think anyone could argue that it's not a very well constructed deck. And I think while things like Mutagenerator probably do need a bit of a hammer, honestly, the list is in a great spot.
So, and Lian is going on blue coin. That might be an important information as well. So we might be seeing...
So Lian going on blue then. Yes, the pincer maneuver or lined pockets likely to be both of those potentially starting as the blue coin options, flip into Patricidal Fury.
And now let's have a look in the Innomina decks.
Yeah,
we haven't seen these yet.
We haven't. Am I okay to let you take a quick look for a second?
Sure. We also know the ban, and it is a surprising ban.
It is.
Because Innomina is bringing both the Enslave and Syndicate. Actually, this lineup is very similar to what Lian is bringing. However, we will not see the Syndicate. So it is Nilfgaard that is not banned. They are nearly identical. There are tiny changes in the bronzes, but otherwise the plan and the main idea of these decks is the same between these two players. But we will not see only mirrors because there are different bans. So in the end, it's going to be Enslave that I will see from Innomina instead, and Syndicate instead gets banned. But we could still see Skellige mirror and Pincer Maneuver mirror. We are also nearly in game. Yeah, because we are clearly quicker than we expected. Innomina is going in. Innomina is going in on red coin, sorry. So that could be that could mean that we're starting with Patricidal Fury. Yeah, and we just went through these, so they're they're the same decks.
Yeah, they are the same decks, and
just a different ban.
Yeah, as we mentioned, I'm a little surprised to see the Enslave go through. If I'm being honest, it's been consistently banned. It's an interesting one that's been left. Will that end up being telling? But you can't say that he didn't know what's what. They have the same deck lists.
Yeah.
So, but it will mix this up a bit. Definitely not just mirrors here, as we will jump back to our... In fact, you know what? If it's due to be starting any second, let's let you see that gorgeous little card spin, shall we?
It's because I have conflicted information with you.
Oh, yeah,
started 7.
Yeah, that's not happening. This will restart, so it's not actually due. Okay. So, yeah, and you can see there are tech choices across. This Nilfgaard list is super scary. Most of the bottom end, it's all about getting in. Now, to be fair, the Line Pockets list from Innomine Satanas does have Anglo-M in it.
Yeah.
And the Anglo-M is a very scary card. It is a little bit varied from what other people are running. It has a spare passive for Peaches rather than just 1 and 1. It's running Decree instead of Bank. Personally, I prefer that. A, it's a spare provision, and B, while it cannot grab you other things, Vivaldi Bank and Acherontia together, highly problematic in my opinion. And when we did see the Syndicate list played in the last series, if he'd found Madame Serenity higher up, he'd have had the coins. And he had the coins when he played Bank. The problem he had was he had to spend them to draw her, which wouldn't have allowed him enough to thin, and as a result couldn't play her, didn't have the tempo. That is not something that Vivaldi Bank is great for. Royal Decree, however, so it's a bit of a balanced...
Yeah, it's a little bit of a different deck, the Line Pocket, I didn't realise. Yeah, correct. But otherwise, the decks that remain are the same.
And the theme's similar.
Being Lian, you don't want Angoulême against you because you don't want your mutagenerator to possibly get the Onk.
It makes it super awkward. And of course, the Morils, a little bit of extra control with the Heat Wave. It's a tough one. It's a little bit different for Innomine Satanus. The same overall idea, just a little bit more control heavy and a bit more meta tech. I actually like Innomine's version more than anyone else's. So I'm a little sad to see it banned.
Yep.
But at least we get another faction. In fact, I believe the only one we won't have seen as a result today is Monsters.
We haven't seen Monsters.
No,
correct.
Cams did bring Monsters and was in the lower bracket semi-final, but sadly could not make it through in Innomine Satanus.
And we saw Squirtle very briefly.
So very briefly we did. It's
Sadness.
a fantastic deck though, that Squirtle list. But there you go. I think we will jump back onto us for a few moments.
Let's go.
Hello everybody.
Hi.
It is still the final top 64 qualifier of Masters Season 5.
Waiting to figure out if it's Lian or Innomine.
Yes.
Being the last person qualifying for Masters Weekend 1.
Yeah, that's going to be the 12th person, the only chance. Both of these players now are playing for the chance at Gwent Immortality. We have 4 Masters World Champions. We're going to have a 5th. There is only 1 player among the entire thing that could become a 2-time champion. Every other former champion is not here.
True.
Is my spelling bee? No. You're not going to see the Pyre is there. Of course, we haven't got Cybers because he's not qualified, isn't playing Gwent right now.
And then
Lovely guy though. And last, but by no means least, the legend that is Colamon. Of course, Gwentin Tarantino himself, lovely gent, an incredible Gwent player. Pyre is, of all of them, shooting to be the only 2-time champion. And of course...
Puzzle as well.
A Puzzle's never won World Masters. There are plenty of open winners in there, for sure. Other events have been won, but no other player has won it among the lineup, including these 2. Each of them would love, absolutely love, to join that illustrious
the very
list.
elite.
The most
list.
Elite.
Of
You know?
Gwent Masters.
It was going to be pretty huge, and both of them have a shot. This is probably the scariest moment for both of these players because they are right on the edge of getting... Yeah, it's so close right now. This will be the biggest moment in both of their Gwent careers, this single best of 5.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah.
And this is it. There will be no more qualifiers and no other way to get into Masters. So it's either Lian or Innomine. And that is it.
It is indeed. And obviously lots of players over Gwent history have won Opens. A lot of them have won when we used to have challenges or special events, things like that. And of course all of those things are incredible. But that noise was you, by the way.
Still you, chat.
Still you, chat, yeah. If you could check on why your Windows is making a noise, that'd be great. Disrupting our cast is disgraceful.
Horrible.
I know. How dare you? However, we are almost there.
Almost there. We're on a spinning.
Yeah.
Spinning card. We're going to be watching Lian and the winner of a losers bracket in Innomine.
That's correct. That is going to be the players that are through. Innomine Satanus won 3-0 against Cams. The one who I thought Cams might just make it through.
Yeah.
His deck lists were a little bit different and really fun.
They had interesting techs in them.
Yeah, they did. However, we now have our final 2 players in with a chance. One who's going to Masters.
1 minute away.
Yeah, we're about to start. So
Let's
we
go
will show you
the
the flip.
spinning card.
Spinning card for another 60 seconds. Now, who is on blue coin? Lian. Lian is on blue coin here. So for Lian, his Skellige list is obviously not going to be his choice. Lian has his Nilfgaard banned. So he's got Northern Realms and Syndicate, either of which would be suitable in this spot. He's going to want to avoid mirrors in those situations. He will be aiming here and thinking to himself, right, I could be facing Skellige, but I could also be facing that Nilfgaard list.
Yep.
So, what's my best chance and what do I think is going to happen from here? And players who played earlier after a certain point drop down to a loser's bracket to play a little bit further through. I'm just trying to think what I would want here. If I'm expecting my opponent to play Nilfgaard with the Angluem, I don't have to guess because we're about to. The Nilfgaard doesn't have the Angluem. Does it not? I thought it did. That's one of the reasons that it's kind of nuts.
I thought it's the Syndicate.
Well, the Syndicate definitely does, but the Nilfgaard has been as well. Let's find out.
I'll check quickly because I'm curious now.
Ooh, and Innomine decides to bring NR. Not taking.
Okay.
And interesting choice because the Skelliger is the obvious definitely take me.
Yeah.
But he's got multiple shots at red coin because he's starting on red. Mulligans. Has to get rid of the brick. Succeeds in doing so and doesn't brick his Madame Serenity either. Nice start for Lian. On the flip side here, we have Innomine Satanus has got in hand both his ability to get more leaders as well as kind of everything he'd want here.
Yeah.
Not messing around though. Wow.
Makes sense. Let me just see. So it's Innominus Nilfgaard that we want to check if it has. Okay. It does the same one as well. Correct.
Okay, so we're now looking at the temple choices in Innomine. Starting off with the temple, doesn't have Room Mage, so has gone down this line instead. Mutagenerator tends to come out second. This Syndicate list does have a Heat Wave, I think, if I'm not mistaken, but no sign of it here.
That's Lian, right?
Yeah, no sign of it for Lian in hand, so as a result, cannot deal with it.
Lian Syndicate is Heatwave included, indeed.
However, hasn't drawn it. A pretty great opening hand for both players. Lian will be keen to try and take a little bit of control, and we can see he took Dijkstra. The Donomir doesn't surprise me. Wow, okay.
Okay. Curious to see how that goes.
Yeah.
Antes, as always, makes sense. That's what we would expect.
Completely. And drops. And I don't hate this. I don't hate that. She could be so much coin value that you really don't want her just gaining infinite coins.
Looking at Lian's hand, it's a good hand otherwise. We have the open sesame, we have the thinning, stuff like that. So that is good. Yeah,
both open sesames is huge here, especially with the ability to use that spender between them.
Massive.
Really nice.
Indeed. We're seeing Iris Companions coming down.
Ooh.
Okay.
Okay, so this is an interesting one.
So why would we Innomine wait with the Mutagenerator?
Well, I'm curious to see if Innomine is now saying, I'm not going to Mutagenerator this round. Is saying, you know what? Because he doesn't need to play that until he plays 4P cards, but he only has 2 of them in his hand.
Okay.
Because it's the 4 provision cards you want to play that with, and he doesn't really have those right now. Normally he'd like to win this round, but he's just going to go, he's going with it. Okay. He's got 2 4P options in hand, of course, can use those leader charges if he wants to shuffle something away, but you really don't want to shuffle any of these away.
So, meanwhile, Lian is doing well.
Yeah.
You know, lots of big 31 point gaps.
Yeah. However, you're always worried about reach here. Until you realise, of course, again, as everybody is aware, that Ansace is there. It's 25 points for the Ansace, which means it's going to have to be dropped and a leader charge used.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so it's a perfect point to drop it.
Great pass from Lian as well to get Ansace out.
Yeah, and the Mutagenerator getting only 5 points of carryover. Lots more from Iris and the Companions, of course, but it really does reduce a huge amount. Oh, never mind. It's perfect, of course. I forgot he got the Zeal.
Wow.
So, but here comes, the Zeal is there. Phew.
The extra 1 point we needed from there.
Yeah. Should just be sufficient, as we're going to see now. What is he choosing to grab and get rid of effectively?
Yep. So we're seeing the Defender come out. Makes sense.
Yeah. I guess probably the Scholar is now going to disappear. Yeah.
Yeah, he does.
And just about gets out. One of the open sesames sits nicely in the graveyard. I believe is down to 5 empty pockets now.
Yeah.
Perfect timing to be able to play the other one.
Ooh, look at that draw. Okay, that one can
pretty good, obviously, And you always want to see your brick drawn, honestly,
good.
because when you've only got one of them, you're much happier if you can get rid of it. And
That is a
I think
that is
Lian,
not a brick. That is
no.
not a brick because there are 2 peaches in this deck.
Lian, one of the
That
few
is
players who
alright,
did
yeah.
include 2 rather than just 1 of each.
Okay.
Innomine Satana's probably going to be pushing here. The defender now dropping down.
Okay,
This is gonna
so
be interesting.
if I'm Lian, I need coins if I want to play Madame Serenity.
Yeah, so you can just play the other Open Sesame
Yeah,
here.
you could just do that.
You have the turns. You have absolutely got time to do that. And you're happy playing Madame Serenity out, honestly.
Yeah, because it's a good thinning.
Oh, and more carryover now. Gotta be, I would say Madame Serenity and Tribute is going to be the way here.
That it seems to be the way. Now we
Yeah.
get the Slice Electrics and Peaches.
And
Maximum coins. What?
yeah, we're on maximum coins there as well. I'm trying to see if one of the Open Sesames just procced.
I think that's what happened.
Yeah.
Because normally that you wouldn't have coins after Madame Serenity, right?
Yeah, I think that's pretty much the case. You can see spending on the shield might seem weird, but you gain a coin each turn.
Yeah,
It's
yeah. So
actually
you
worth
might
it.
as well
Yeah.
spend on the shield.
Lack of
sense.
spenders is a serious issue here right now for Lian, though, and they will be acutely aware of it because Shoop hasn't been played yet. You're always worried about the threat of Shoop. Why? Well, of course, because Shoop can do specific damage. He chooses to play, though.
Yep.
Oh.
Wow, okay.
Okay, and he's spending down here. Just about stays ahead. I would expect Shoop to come in and destroy that, but maybe not. Let's see.
So rather it's done. We're now...
Leader charge coming in. Is
Yeah.
Is he going for the 2-0? No.
Wow, okay.
Although DJ can pull you anything you want. It's a wonderful card here to be able to
Yeah.
grab.
There we go. Wow, that's big.
It
That's
is.
big from Innomine, pushing it a lot.
Yeah. However,
However,
now
we have points that Lian's constantly generating points. We have Vivaldi. Do we want to play the Big Belt and Ixora, or do we really want to keep those for later?
I mean, you don't want to use them, but if you have to, you would. The question is, because the boat needs 12 Vice now, which is
Yeah.
too many.
Yeah.
It needs way more. Oh, Novigrad all the way at the bottom is really unfortunate.
Oh, well.
Possibly still the pick, but you could take Candle. Candle doesn't overprofit, is at maximum. You spend once, which is fine. Possibly double spend damage-wise as well here if you're Lian. So has multiple spenders now. Okay, Red's deciding on a card to buff, I believe, based on the fact we can see the neutrals. And of course, Innomine is running OG Geralt as well. The original premium that
The
we
one
all
and
had.
only.
Yes.
Yeah. And Run Mage now, obviously, to have a better shoot possibility later. Availability. So, the cultists, they make my stomach turn each time I
They
see
do.
them.
But I don't think it'll be the cultist. I don't think. Could-
Yeah. I
I'd
don't
be
think
surprised.
so.
All of these are pretty bad. The toxicologist.
Toxicologist. Duchess Informer, you could argue, can give you something, because the other ones are connected to tactics,
yeah.
so this makes sense.
It does. And you
you-
just take the
yeah,
engine
yeah.
that's actually going to work for you. As Red is also deciding, and both of the... I
guess
thought
that's
so.
the-
So many coins in pocket here. This is really scary. Lian is in a spot now where he's just playing the engines and playing slowly. I would say he spends probably 3 times here, offensively. Okay,
Okay.
chooses not to.
Are we gonna
Just
see
buffs.
the Bloody Good Fun?
The Bloody Good Fun, he's playing so he's got the reach for Bloody Good Fun to get him out.
That's what I'm thinking. That could be the defender.
Yeah.
Boom.
This is going to be close. He doesn't want to give these two, and both of... I believe he's still got one of the Open Sesames in Graveyard. We did just see both of them were still there, which is fine. 1 at 6, 1 at 5, but he has 1 power spender on board, and it's survived.
Yeah.
The fact that has survived puts him in a really good spot, because of course he can play
Oh no!
We see that,
no.
however, we have not been alerted that this is an issue.
Gotta check.
So, hopefully, this rectifies itself.
Oh my god, not that.
We don't want this. Come on.
I don't have any.
Okay, we've had no warning, so we're assuming that this goes away. We're assuming that this is going to go... Yeah, we know.
Circling.
Wait, something moved. Come on.
Okay. Well, this is nerve-wracking.
This is tense for us too.
We froze, we didn't freeze. We're just like...
We're here, but this is the longest disconnect I've seen without it going away, so...
Talk to us, because we're focusing all our mental energy on making it work for the players, because this is just not what you want.
And it does end.
It does
okay.
Disconnect.
Okay, so disconnect meaning in nomine Satanas is 1-0 up.
Okay.
Okay.
Wow.
That is 1-0. We had no warning of that being the case.
No.
So we weren't aware of that coming. It is now 1-0. It's a difficult one because you're not sure how that would have gone, honestly. Yeah. There was an okay amount of hand buff on Lian's side. And that is, I believe, now the second time Lian's had connection issues in a game 1 today.
Yeah,
Unfortunate.
It seems like that's just not going
difficult.
well for Lian, right?
Yeah, it's a tough day. YouTube itself is down effectively for live streaming.
Yeah.
And there are some server issues across the board, but...
Geo informed us now that there's technical win. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, technical win goes there, so it is 1-0. But remember, it is just game 1. There are so many more things happening. Yeah,
so we don't know about any further technical issues. So in Nomina is true with the Syndicate. So we're gonna see... No, it was Syndicate, it was. No. What other decks were we gonna see for in Nomines?
So in Nomine now, Nomine has won with the Syndicate list and the Enslave is banned. So it's Patricidal Fury and it's Pincer Maneuver for Innomine Satanas.
No, Syndicate has been banned for Innomines.
Oh, sorry. So Innomine, Innomine just... What?
Did we...
NR1,
okay.
NR1.
It was against Syndicate.
Yes, okay, so his Northern Realms list is through. We still have Nilfgaard and Patricidal Fury, and he's going on... Sorry, Lian, Lian was the other way around. NR was red and won. It's okay.
Because they all bring the same decks now, so to be fair...
It's all very similar today.
So yeah, NR is true. So we'll see SK and Nilfgaard.
Yeah, SK and Nilfgaard, both of which actually prefer red coin. So I'm curious now to see. It's a strange choice, that list, as a result, running it on red, because it's the only one that had a decent shot on blue.
We'll see.
The Nilfgaard list, I'm expecting then, honestly, as the Skellige really doesn't like blue coin typically. So it's now 1-0 to Innomine Satanas.
Yes, indeed.
And Lian, currently on 0, will be trying to...
and now bringing on red coin. Right?
Yeah, Lyrian's coming onto red coin now, probably brings the Skellige as a result.
Yeah.
And we do have the surprise inclusion of a Nilfgaard list not being banned, Nion miraculously. So let us see what's coming.
I'm really curious to see, because sometimes I feel like some decks get almost like a fear factor around them, that you don't want to see them in tournaments, and I understand why Nilfgaard has been banned so much, but I actually want to see how it works, you know?
Yeah, I get it. I mean, these lists in a competitive format where you can pick their coins can sometimes just have phenomenal matchups and tech options to the point where they make their win ratio for matchups is so high that you just have to ban it. It doesn't necessarily mean this will be the best deck on ladder, and a lot of people tend to miss that.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
But we have a Skellige mirror here now.
And I'm looking at how much of a mirror it is in the initial hand as well. And the answer is quite. Together, they have the perfect hand.
Yes. 20 cards, they're in. You know, for 20 cards, they're happy. As we can see, probably a Maxi Van Decker starting things out here on blue. Innomine will be happy to have that. Has managed to draw a second boat, but does not have any priests, which be a bit of an issue. That can be a little bit problematic for them. discard of choice. The squirrel's too valuable here to discard.
Definitely.
And has to get rid of one of the ships, simply because the Mardrum paired with the other is too many points to turn down.
Meanwhile, Lian does have the boat and the priest, so they will. They have a little bit of a better start here.
Yeah. Engines on the way.
Engines are on the way. Points are being generated. Meanwhile, Mardrum just hits that boat. Lots of points as well.
And I think Innomine now basically giving themselves enough reach to pass at this point. Lian will be aware of that, takes the heat wave, but and it is just enough. That is an interesting heat wave.
But Lian also has the verification.
He does, but that's a big choice to get rid of such.
Yeah.
He's trying to take control of this and knows the value of winning this round.
Yeah.
And not allowing your opponent just to pass out of this particular matchup without... You don't want to do that. It's a huge moment to make the decision to heatwave this. Is that going to bite Lian later when he cannot resolve other potential threats? It depends. If he wins this on even, he will be very happy.
Yeah.
So that's what it might come down to. Red coin, there's a good argument now. Normally, yeah, okay, he's just going to go for this. It's fine. A lot of players might have been tempted to play the Vial there, simply because it would have got rid of the bleeding.
Yeah, true.
But you might need that as a proactive choice later. As Innomine really going in hard here. Drops
Really?
Cairtrold.
Yeah.
Cairtrold's big.
Cairtrold and Ulfrid. No.
Olgierd's gone as
Olgierd.
well, yeah. And Olgierd, neutral, of course, not a target to return, so cannot start pairing.
Wow, so are we gonna see Newt as well, therefore? No.
No, because Innomine's got the pass they're looking for, but now Cairtrold is gone for Innomine Satanis. Because Lian's not going to want to play into that extra round. Both end up giving their Olgierds. But I think Lian winning the round, that's... Ooh, that's an interesting one.
Okay, so...
Wow.
Okay, so we're seeing verification on one hand, Swallow on the other, and Squirrel goes away, surprisingly.
Yeah, although there's nothing
But there's nothing big committed in the graveyard yet. But you could argue that you want to keep it either way.
Maybe, although I think he's now mulliganing knowing he doesn't want to continue here, potentially. I managed to mulligan into that Nero. That's huge. But a long round 3 is scary. Because
Lian
it's just...
has a great hand for that. The Newt, Sigvald, Swallow, Reed, and another one is amazing.
I think...
Innomine.
My worry is Lian gets the round win, and obviously then passes out of this, which makes sense. My concern, I suppose, was the choice to heatwave. This is a squirrel. The choice to heatwave may bite Lian in this long round. Last say is valuable, but not having it could be a tough one.
Definitely.
Could very much be a tough one.
So let's see. Long round 3, Swallow v Swallow.
This is gonna be
some crazy math.
And
that can be. I love the bear. I love that he's in the deck. I know he's never getting played, but it's just so lovely.
He might. Soph might grab him, you know.
Yeah, that's how. But that's it, you know.
Yeah. That's the only choice now.
Okay.
Both players drawing as good as perfectly as they can, and the decision is going to be Lian still has Cairtrold, Innomine Satanis still has Heatwave. So arguably, those two things are basically just going to trade with each other.
Yeah.
As a result, they're both in the same spot. I would very much expect...
Innomine also has verification, so you could argue using that instead, because Heatwave is for your Swalblood, Heatwave is for your Sigvald. Those are the things you want to Heatwave quickly
very much so.
Before they hit the board. Meanwhile, Innomine's Swalblood lives.
Maybe.
Most likely.
It could do, but it's not guaranteed if you can set up the Knut. Now we're going to see the second totem, I guess, come down, which, if history is anything to tell us, should now be heatwaved. As a guess, they usually play these out pretty quickly.
Wow.
Is going full for the removal instead and just ignoring it for now.
Interesting.
Not giving units to give Svalblood value, instead just sitting on the Sigvald that actually quite wants to be damaged.
Yeah.
An interesting line, different choice, but I like to see it. And now we're going to see that Bloodthirst destroyed instead with the self-wound.
Okay.
It's not negative points.
Sigvald, yes, before Svalbard man makes sense.
It does.
What can Innomine play?
This is quite the back and forward. Totem for totem.
Oh god.
Which I expect to get verification on the flip side. This is quite the mirror.
Okay.
Who's going to wait the longest?
There
it is. There's the bear. And the Innomine not having the bloodthirst option for his Sove could be damning. But with the idea of the Svalbloods, it probably won't be. This
taking it slow. It is tense because they're both holding the Svalbard, just waiting for the perfect moment for it to go down.
But it's worth as much for your opponent as it is for you right now, right? So the board stakes are near identical here. Canute having to start coming in and trying to remove the engine, I would wager, but could start removing...
No, it's putting points in Sigvald now.
Yeah, but you want to kill as much as you can too. I wouldn't be surprised if we started to see the cultists remove it. Cultists? I think they are cultists, actually.
They are cultists.
They are.
Yeah, they are, yeah.
Because removing those from your opponent denies them the Svalbard points. It's one of the ways you can deal with it. But it's probably just Canute for Canute.
Canute.
Canute. Yes.
Newt.
Yeah, Newt indeed. As now...
Oh god, Lord.
Is this the moment? No. The problem is you don't want to remove it instantly now because you just allow your opponent to open up a potential Sigdriffer. Both of them stuck on awkward Sigdriffers right now.
So is Innomine now playing Svalbard? Oh, nope, not anymore, because like you've said, the Vile comes down to Saint Newt.
It does indeed. The Newt now lives, but also only can be used once more.
Yeah.
Because it's not going to be at 5, so it's Berserk is not active.
Okay.
Probably use it now. But it's only going to do 3 damage.
This is some shenanigans.
This is definitely shenanigans.
Okay, so hovering over.
Oh, he's going for... Okay, he's taking now his own Sove, I think, while he has the 4 Bloodthirst. Actually, not a silly decision potentially here.
And you could play the bear with that instead.
It's risky though because you can't finish it off. Okay, so he gets his own points down here, and he's hugely ahead, 32 points. But the full leader swing. It's
wow. Is this the heat wave?
I would be heat waving that out of existence because Lian has sat on it too long.
That was so quick.
The greed there from Lian might end up hurting. Of course, still has his own Sove and full leader to pair with it, so his Sove will be worth more as well. The Sove all but makes the gap up on its own here.
Oh, no.
With the extra card and the leader ability, it does make up the gap here. So it's not as big a difference as you think. The actual board state's very similar right now.
But Svalbard's still not there. Okay.
And that's huge.
That's huge.
It looks like minus points, but it's not. It's a whole boom less.
Whole boom less.
You heard me.
Boom, boom, boom.
And this Sigdriffer's looking pretty sad right now.
Going boom?
I don't think you want to boom just yet. The problem is, are you Sigdriffering back?
Why are you Sigdriffering
Honestly,
back?
there's not much here. Yeah.
I think it's time. Okay, now Lian's setting up the Sove, it seems. Yes.
Yeah, and going for the bear, I would imagine. I hope this rope is not real and that it is just the client. Takes the squirrel instead.
Wow.
Holds the final leader.
And now we see the Svalbard going down.
Boom, boom, and
But not much boom, boom.
I'm expecting to see.
Read for priest, it could be, but that summons it, so it doesn't go in the correct spot to actually target the.
Oh boy!
Oh my!
This is going to be close.
Are we gonna see in the second Svalbard?
The second Svalbard procs for as many points for your opponent as it does for you, but if you do it in this turn,
Can't watch this.
This is gonna be a lot.
And so Lian seems to be hovering over Reed, and what are they bringing back? Because there's not much. And like I said, Reed summons. You're not placing
Sigdriffer, you mean?
Yeah.
Sigdriffer, so she summons, so probably the boat because there's no value in either of the others, they're just 3s.
There's no deploy.
Yeah, but then equally, there's nothing in the boat either because, again, nothing's being played.
Points.
However, the last Svalbard, plus that leader ability from Lian.
But then this boat will be more points, Okay.
Yeah. It's 30 points. Is Svalbard the leader? And of course, I think it's enough.
And the Knut and the totem. Okay, let's see.
I think it's sufficient here.
You think?
Because it's going to be really close. You've got the ability to set up first with Knut to give yourself more value. The armor as well reduces it, so he just takes the value there.
Okay.
Big lad comes out. Boom, 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 boom.
Okay, boom, boom, boom. Wasn't... Okay, now we get more boom.
Oh, God. It's just enough.
Oh, my... Wait.
By 1 point. By more than 1 point.
By more, because we still haven't pressed totem. Wow, that was a massive swing.
It was indeed, as Lian pulled themselves back into this.
Versus Innomine. That was great. I love boom boom mirrors.
Yeah, that was... So it turns out, navigate, obviously last say in that matchup, super important. We know that, and that's one of the reasons Lian was so aggressive in round 1.
Yeah.
In the same way that Innomine was committing so much to try not to lose on even at very least. They who Svalbard last, Svalbard strongest by the look of it, and that is how it turned out. Mm-hmm. You know? You wanted a Newt.
Something.
I saw the desire for a Newt. However, what a mirror. It is 1-1 right now in this series. Both players have progressed with a singular deck. They now flip coins, which means Lian is back on blue coin.
So Lian now won with Skellige.
Yeah.
And so we're going to see Lian. Lian.
So, Lian has still got access to Northern Realms, and Lian also has access to Syndicate.
Yeah. So the last 2 decks, and for Innomine, that will be Enslave.
Yeah, Enslave is available as well as Skellige. Yes. So they are our options. Innomine. Oh, this is going to be interesting.
So Innomine is going on red. Could that be...
I would now probably take the Patricidal Fury again if I were them, but
we'll see.
We will see. They are just getting ready. We have, as it tells us, just a moment as this match will get underway.
That feels like the biggest lie from Gwent tournament client.
Sometimes.
Getting their game ready, and you're there like...
Please. Please. While there have been lots of technical issues over the course of the weekend, none of them have been Gwent so far. Gwent has done its very best.
Don't jinx it.
I believe in the Gwent client at this stage. The inconsistencies it used to have... No, the inconsistencies are long gone. We have it's unfortunately things outside of everybody's control.
No, I feel like we've learned to dance the dance with Gwent client rather than anything else.
Oh, now we finally get to see this Nilfgaard list, and it is a scary one. It's in Slave 6, but it includes a whole bag of chaos in Angluem against... These are the 2 lists that are most banned. The 2 lists of the weekend you were least likely to see.
The bad guys against each other, basically.
Yeah. It is all about villainy here.
On the other hand, I do not, as Nilfgaard, I rarely like playing against Syndicate. Because the idea of Nilfgaard a lot of the times, at least for me, is I play your deck better than you.
Yes.
And with Syndicate, that can be tough because you don't have money.
Oh, that's awful for Lian. Last greediest of mulligans with a decent hand and has pulled that. And yes, you're right. It is. It can be problematic because it's not just pure value, but equal as well.
Yeah.
As we see the Anglo-M straight away, and you're going probably for Novigrad.
Makes sense.
And the thing that makes this so scary, Novigrad for me, arguably the best card in the game. That card will play for upwards of 30 right now. Yeah.
It also makes you the money that I was just mentioning is the issue.
Every single... and that's why Anglo-M in this list is so scary.
Are we gonna see it yeeted? No?
No, not yet. Instead, we just see a quick spend. We'll be trying to stay ahead, but that Novigrad is a really, really scary proposition. As you say, it gives you coins. It keeps making coins. That is a lot.
Yeah.
It is. And the Heatwave... honestly doesn't sound awful to me.
Otherwise, it's not a great hand for Nilfgaard.
Never is in round 1. You don't want a good hand typically because you've got Calvé.
Torres is good to set up your Terra Nova, stuff like that.
Yes, if you can find it, you're happy with it.
Yeah.
But I'm always happy with a pretty bronze hand on red because I don't need to win this round. I need you to spend too much making me not. Typically.
I get it.
As we see here. Lian now will be feeling reasonably comfortable in Nomine. Just going to keep spending bronze tactics. They're literally fodder in deck building for this, I would imagine. So we will see though. Lian
diplomacy now,
Lian's hand gets really awkward now because any of his remaining cards, short of the bronze spender, will give away, if his opponent's paying attention, that he is not getting the tributes back. And as a result, will reveal the brick that sits there. That's a scary situation to be in. On this side, you cannot take the one on the left because it has to destroy itself if there's nothing. None of those are great choices. It has taken
we have
this.
The money,
Yeah, you've got the coins to spend, so that's all right on that one. So that's 7 points with a constant coin engine. You're okay. The tribute has cancelled its self-destroy. Now, for Lian, he can spend. That's okay. He doesn't want to give too many spenders, though. This is the problem, and right now,
you might play
he has to.
Serenity to thin.
But then that gives it away because you're tributing, and you're not getting those coins back. It's hugely problematic. And instead, he takes the pass and says, you know what? I can't afford to play past this point. My coins are way too valuable. It's not the spot Lian would have wanted to be in, having to give that round up so freely. But I like the choice, because the brick absolutely changed the way he had to play this round. And
Lian is now a simple answer for Nilfgaard player, because that's just what you want to play now.
Yeah.
Get rid of the bronzes. The issue is if you get too blood as a Nilfgaard here, because you have to
you bleed yourself potentially, And on this spot again, Madame Serenity, both of the engines are in hand, but of course one of them has 2.
Yeah, that's alright.
Manages not to brick into it, is happy here, as we do see the new version of the Oxenfurt Scholar, no longer the worst of cards. Anyway, it's pretty decent on card.
Even what's the card?
Wolfpack?
No.
Oh.
The Ballad, Inspiration Ballad.
No, that's still terrible.
No, but it's now not the worst. I will make it great. One day.
I don't think that's possible, but still, good luck. Good luck.
You.
As we see, trading backwards and forwards, the candle jumping onto the board, which is exactly what you want as the Syndicate player here. This is all Inomine potentially aiming for a 2-0 here, hoping the hand isn't good enough. Has the coins himself for this engine to function.
So rude. It just feels so rude.
It
can't help it.
It does. There's a lot of potential value.
They can get another for Coop and the Duchess
more and more
Informant
and more
again.
and more and more, yeah.
Nothing has been given spying yet.
Not currently.
And Torres is in the first...
Torres is in the second stage.
Second stage, so Terra Nova's not great.
Terra Nova's not doing anything for you right now, but your leader ability guarantees you a target.
Yeah.
So, at the moment, we can see the spending, perhaps trying to make the leader ability a bit awkward, protecting all of those engines, except for the one. And it's probably not the one that you'd want to steal here.
It's not necessarily,
no. Madame Serenity goes, it might seem strange, but the coin generation that she provides is so scary. God, look at this, the engine value on the board right now.
It's insane, yeah. Okay, so...
Okay, we see the 5 spend. Okay.
The flanking goes away, makes sense. That's again a point every turn.
And 2 at some stage if it's there. You have to take control of that early. Good use of the coins for Lian. Currently, no open sesame in the graveyard, I don't think, but there's obviously 1 in hand. No sign of tutoring either, other than playing Acherontia, which you also don't want to do.
So, being in Nomine, bless you.
Thank you.
We are Brathine's coming down.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Get yourself more engines that are not actually yours.
But they're ours.
And now we can get bonded Slicer Juxtris if we wanted.
No.
That's not what Innomine goes for.
And the thing for Innomine here needed a spender. Because Innomine was in a spot where, I've got coins, but that's not helpful, right? Could have spent once more there and still remained with the Horde on. Didn't do so, instead just trying to keep them. And Acherontia drops.
Wow, okay.
He's now playing the entire of it out, I guess, including his full leader ability is just sufficient here. Is there an open sesame and graveyard that I've missed based on the way he's playing, or is this just habit? Either way, full leader is enough here. What will he grab? There is no way He is just going to leave that sat there. He leaves it there knowing or believing that there is no possible removal, but that is probably not right because it can be stolen. Oh my word, it can be stolen. Stefan into leader, and the Acherontia is coming. Oh, it's not quite.
No, it's 8.
Okay, he was looking for damage on this.
Fine, yeah.
Does he get 2 damage from this?
No.
No, he doesn't. Okay.
If there was 2 damage, then Stefan does 8. That brings it down to 8, and
That was so brave because there are cards from Novigrad that do damage.
Yeah.
That was.
That's good. Yeah, that's a good summary. There are indeed damage card in Syndicate.
Lyrian
And
taking
Innomina
a chance.
didn't get that. Let's see what we do here. Wow.
That was scary.
It's okay.
Yikes. As we see
So-
more.
Would it have been worth it? No, it's not. Because you can't. No. No, nothing.
Okay.
Nothing.
So, I mean, Lyrian read the room,
Yeah.
takes a chance, succeeds, and Innomine just gets themselves back ahead again, albeit obviously 2 cards down, is trying their best to get as much as possible out of this. Still has the opportunity to swing this into a 2-0-2, by the way. It's by no means out of the realms of
yeah,
possibility.
What's the thing you could replay with Torres here?
Nothing, it all sucks.
I know, yeah.
That's the downside. Almost makes you want to play it card 1 in a round 3 instead. But, as you've mentioned, currently no spying units either. Nothing worth stealing.
Open Sesame goes into the graveyard now.
It does, and out comes Evelyn
Is
Gallo.
that the steal target?
It's not a bad one, honestly.
No anymore.
It's still pairable if you're going to give, if you're going to play Stefan,
Yeah.
hit that, remove the spender.
Could
Between them, that would be pretty nice. Steal Evelyn. Instead,
no,
just says
instead,
no.
It passes.
Okay, I mean, getting Acherontia is pretty huge. That's not bad. The boat has gone. You've lost your card, but you've kept your leader, which is as good as the value of a card, and your opponent has spent through all but,
Yeah.
most of their leader ability. So,
Okay.
this is tough. Novigrad finally disappears in one place, and it reappears in the other. Novigrad is infinite, and 2 1-power spenders.
Omnipresent.
Lyrian looking pretty happy right now, I would say, if you consider...
In Nomina getting the assimilated bronze that gives spying, so finally has access to whatever they want to be spying.
Yeah.
Not that it's great here, but...
It's not. Only 5 cards left on the Syndicate side as well, meaning Vivaldi Bank is guaranteed to find whatever they want, which will of course be Ixora. The Defender could be a huge problem here.
Really? With Stefan?
Stefan will have to come out and clean it up, but by which point it can't also clean up Ixora potentially, right? So these choices aren't the best.
Slightly sad, yeah.
Yeah, Spawn,
but
I
they
guess.
said they did what you said's gonna happen, which is playing Torres first card.
Yeah, imagine now if Lyrian manages to find
The one
from
point.
this the other poison. It is a possibility.
Yeah.
It is a possibility.
So, Lyrian, what do they want? Do they just want to set up all the bronzes first? Or are we seeing the defender come down to protect them all?
I think you defender
Yeah.
first. If you're going to defender now, you know that Stefan's there, so you make your opponent use it now. Or, you should spend to protect this though. Oh, okay, I wouldn't have spent to protect him.
No, or you can coup the defender. I just find it funny.
You can, but
then you're not
it's
getting the
bad.
other one. I know.
Yeah. You can do that, but don't. I'm not sure why we didn't protect the Scarab there. And I
Yeah.
feel like the hovering of it, that's got to be a misclick.
That feels like it, yeah.
Oh, it's got to be a misclick, because there's just no good reason to do that at all for Lyrian. That's really
And now
rough
we're
here.
seeing the Ixora.
Ixora's going to come out.
We don't have a way to remove it for Innomine.
No, Innomine on the plus side is safe, at least in that front.
Yeah.
And find some pretty great tribute targets here, knowing that spending this tribute gets good value and
That's great,
another
yeah.
1-power spender. This is going to be tight.
This doesn't feel great for Innomine, I'm not gonna lie.
No, Innomine now in a bit of a spot here, as we can see. 6 coins. Spends all of them. I think he perhaps should have spent a little differently to trigger and remove another card here, but the leader ability is going to have to pretty much be clutch. Oh, however, get your own Ixora maybe? No, your own defender.
How are we defending?
Okay, I mean, you're going to create that. It gives you more coins.
True, but I'm not sure about this. We also left the spender on the board.
Yeah.
Which doesn't feel great either.
You're aware they've probably got a lot of them, I suppose.
Probably, yeah.
You want to be stealing that, but when you can see there are now multiple, Inomine will be seeing the writing on the wall a little bit here, which is a little bit scary. I don't think it matters what you've got on your side of the board at this point. Reducing Ixora's value isn't going to win you this game. You needed to find a way to steal or remove Ixora from existence, potentially. And I think you had to probably spy, take the damage, hit Ixora, and then try and steal her when she was still sat at 8. Was possible.
And now we're removing the...
Oh, God.
But it doesn't feel
That's a terrible Terra Nova as well.
Yeah.
Like, removing the spenders is the play, but Lian just has more and more and more of them, which will feel very nice. The coup here, the coup's not really doing it.
You Duchess and get another one of the damage guys, I guess.
I think I'd probably end up taking Azar and not tributing here.
Could be.
On the basis that then you've got extra coins. Because you've got just enough for that tribute, but you don't have enough for her tribute.
But this ends up being Terra Nova already.
Yeah, of course it does have spying.
Because you want assimilate value, right?
Yeah.
So we're seeing the Azar, both defenders come down, so you're not keeping the coin.
No, and those defenders are actually going to be would be problematic.
Yeah.
If it weren't for the fact that these spenders are going to allow Ixora. Oh.
Wait.
You need Ixora to go through twice. Wait a minute, the heat wave's useless.
So far, yes.
The double defender.
Duchess, okay, for one of the bronzes. And it's again the...
Has he got enough? Okay. Is there... This is going to come down to, is there...
Okay, one is dead.
Oh god, it's not enough. No, he hasn't got another. I thought he'd got an open sesame in the graveyard for that one.
No.
Innominate takes it. 2-1.
Wow. Well played.
It is now 2-1 to Innominate Satanas.
Yep.
They are one matchup away.
Can we see what the last deck they're bringing there?
We can indeed. Innominate just needs
to go through with
one final list, and that list is his Skellige list. Yes, he lost with it on so far. It's the loss that they've had, has done everything else.
Yeah.
In that series, I think holding the heat wave till the end wasn't right. There were turns he could have heat waved, knowing that the opponent had already given spying to Azar. 100% could have heat waved for more, and could have swung that matchup. It was tough, very close, and it shows you every micro decision of each turn can end up, big impact. On the other side, Lian has won one series so far, and that was with Skellige. As a result, still has, of course, the lists we've just seen.
Yeah.
So still has Syndicate and still has Northern Realms to play with.
Well, we're gonna see.
Well, I don't think we're gonna have to guess too long. Players are close, and Innominate that looked like they were up against a wall for a while there, but the bleed in round 2, getting Acherontia
was good.
Was the difference there. I think if you looked back and went turn by turn, the holding of the heat wave till the end, a little bit too greedy. As soon as you knew the defender could be used against you, you were in trouble, and didn't quite have the coin management to spend exactly how you wanted.
Yep.
However, there's still time to make up for it. Can still win. We could have a 5-game series here.
True. We haven't had one.
Not yet today.
Ooh,
Not yet
first.
today. Yes.
I think that's the first for us.
It
that
would be.
Is going to be. That could be the last game though, and that means we will know all 12
all 12 for the
people
first
coming
weekend.
For the first weekend Masters.
Yeah. Oh, and the first weekend of Masters is going to be fantastic. Obviously, a lot more information to come.
Yeah, and it's more community-based weekend. It's different casters, different creators all over the Twitch.
Oh, yeah.
On YouTube, I assume, as well,
I will be multi-streaming to both, and I'm sure most creators will do their best to do the same. We'll be looking to, much like other tournaments, I would imagine every possible game that can be covered will be.
Hopefully.
And we'll definitely be doing our best to cast as much of it as is possible across all of Gwent, I think it's fair to say, because we all want to enjoy Season 5.
And we need you all to show up, because, we always say it, Gwent is here as long as you guys are here.
Yes.
That's just how it is.
Completely true.
We all love Gwent.
Yeah, we do.
And let's just keep it that way.
Yeah, lots of community-based drive for a Season 6. Lots of information coming up across the next couple of months for that. So keep your eyes peeled, and we will be talking more about it once more is revealed.
Indeed.
Yes, but
okay.
We shall see what happens with that. Right now, it's still Season 5.
And these players are like to keep us on our edge of the seat.
It makes sense. Going straight in is not necessarily the right decision, because
how I see it.
I know, but these people are here because they're patient and they take their time. For Innomine Satanas right now, he knows what he's got. I'm playing this deck, and that's it. His opponent, however, Lian, is now sitting here thinking, which one is most favoured and when?
Patience.
What's my worst spot, right?
It's not a virtue.
It is if you actually want to win.
True.
So that's the difficulty, right?
Yeah.
If I'm him, I'm looking at it, I'm trying to work out what's my worst matchup and which coin has me the best chance as a result, because he ultimately needs to sweep right now. It's going to be difficult. He's going to feel quite sad. The 2 series of his finals that he's lost.
He's
had a disconnect in both.
But
I don't
at least
think
one game decided with a disconnect, which is just sad.
Yeah, the first, to be fair, in the upper winners bracket final, that game for me was done. Anyway,
Sorry.
It's okay. The lower bracket final that we just saw could have been anybody's game. I now only have one eye. But yes.
Apologies.
So, yeah, it's more than a technical loss.
That's all. The joys of casting in person together, isn't it? Great.
Yeah, it is indeed. So I'll try and see the one eye that I can use.
I'll describe what's happening.
Thanks.
Okay, we're on the loading screen right now, and we're gonna see Skellige versus Syndicate.
Yeah, and okay, the Syndicate coming through on red. I like that, because the Northern Realms list that also remains pretty strong on blue. I don't know, actually. I might have done that the other way around now I think about it, but we'll see if it pays off. It's a pretty good opening hand.
So Innomine is possibly fighting for winning, ending the series completely.
Yes.
Meanwhile, Lian is trying to do reverse sweep. Are you alright, darling?
I still can't see through that eye, and it's scratched quite badly, to be completely honest. But otherwise, I'll be fine. We will plough on.
Okay.
I genuinely can't see through my left eye. It's okay. So that's not helping in any way, but I appreciate it. And Innomine going super aggressive here right now. And this is basically, do you have Heatwave? It's a Heatwave check. And are you going to give it me on this? Because I know it's your only answer. If Lian decides to use it, will be a big, big moment here. Because there are other factors that could end up needing that Heatwave.
Okay, so otherwise, verification as an answer to Candle, possibly in the future, could be good.
Yeah, or it's either Candle as a spender or
Self.
Yeah, or potentially the Novigrad, of course, as well.
Course.
Having those access, this list's pretty good into Syndicate, which is one of the reasons why he's probably taking it on red now I think about it. He's going to want to try and bully. I'm really hoping this timer is because he's thinking and not disconnecting. It is, and he's just dropping a spender.
Makes sense, with armor on.
Okay, he's trying to protect the Evelyn Gallo while full spending as well. I don't mind that. That's not a terrible decision. She can be a lot more value than people realise. I think a card that was slept on a little bit in the early days, not necessarily valued perhaps as much as she could be worth.
So we're seeing just slow plays from Inomine.
Yeah.
I'm thinking we haven't seen Dwyn really do anything in this
No.
top 64. Even though she can be amazing with the location, we haven't really seen her potential.
Yeah, I think a lot of the players, and here now we're going to see her potential as Evelyn disappears. I think one of the things that a lot of the players, because a lot of people used to run 2 Dwims, they're cut down to 1 now because the meta has so many tech options to deal with these kind of cards. It's not just the heat wave. There are so many other ways that it can become awkward that as a result having 2 of them is too greedy. We do see that re-enabled. Now Lian, full pocket, could just decide, actually, I'm done here. But it's risky. Instead,
that is risky.
Ooh.
Nice spenders.
Yeah.
Really nice spenders.
Very nice spenders here, especially with the maximum pocket.
Yeah.
Could choose to spend again here and does. I like the extra spend.
And it feels like Heatwave now is a bit too late for the location because you already left it on the board, so might as well not.
Yeah, keeping that pretty much for the Sove, I would imagine.
Is this Squirrel? Yeah, getting rid of
be.
the Open Sesame. Obviously makes sense.
Yeah.
We're not clicking the location.
No, you'd rather keep it, I would say.
Yeah.
Going into that round 2, there are plenty of things that don't mind being absolutely ploughed into opponents.
And we
The
see
talent.
another Open Sesame. You know, it's like you removed 1, nice.
Yeah, another.
Another.
Yeah, it's just me that consistently misses them. Clearly, it appears
Clearly not
anyway.
talented enough.
As we see, Olgierd come in, does another 10 damage, and it's a weird sort of nothing changes with Olgierd. Its power can't be changed, so it doesn't get the benefit, and instead, there we go.
There we go.
Used the verification
get
for
the
points.
extra point. But I guess if you know you don't have second Dwyn, then the location doesn't have a use anymore. So.
Yeah, but now you can't use it proactively either.
Yeah, true.
Which is
true.
Yeah. Going for the aggressive line here, looking for... I mean, that's a pretty good hand here, I would say, for the Skellige players. Have to get rid of that brick. Lucky that it was drawn now. Whew.
Okay.
And find the other Open Sesame.
Open Sesame in total for Lian, okay?
Yeah, and Inomine's here for it.
Okay, yeah.
Boom.
Inomine saying, you know what? I have dinner to attend.
Yeah, and it makes sense. If you're going to drop the totem down, it's going to carry into round 3 regardless, unless it's the heat wave of choice.
Yeah.
And in this round, if you push further, it's great every single turn with the Drakkar. So it's giving you points every turn. Lian just going a little slowly. I think has that heat wave earmarked for Svalbard, quite frankly.
It feels like it, yeah.
So a point a turn here just starts ticking over. Pretty nice.
But Inomine's hand looks great.
Inomine's hand's amazing, and now the heat wave comes a little better late than never.
I guess, yeah.
But the heat wave drops low tempo. Perhaps,
now,
you know.
Svalbard now doesn't make sense because you're not getting any points.
Knut does, though. You could now the heat wave's gone, Knut can be brought back, and you all of a sudden, you can just play him, not hit anything, of course. You just hold him and say, okay, you're going to have to start playing points soon, my friend.
Well, bloody good fun because remove Knut, though.
A bloody good fun could, yes, but you don't mind it being removed.
But you
it can't
also
be
would
heat-waved.
over-profit here, so that's not ideal. So you have to do something else first anyway.
Yeah.
Before you can do that, so Knut...
He might choose to do it, though.
Yeah, it's a... Do you want to spend the points or not? But equally, that's your only way to remove Knut.
Yeah, and the thing, winning round 1 against Syndicate, especially when you're a list like this, you can press it into an awkward spot because it's missing so many of its cards right now. I think if Inomine really pushes here, he could end up taking this because he's just going to bring this back. He's going to say, right, you really don't want it?
And here it is.
Another! Here it comes again.
Yeah. And now Lian has to start putting things on board, and Inomine doesn't really care if they're behind Defender.
No, that makes no difference because Svalbard's just going to boom anyway.
Yeah, boom, boom, boom. And
this is not good. This is looking tough for Lian here. If he can stick both of the spenders and get Acherontia value, he's okay. And he does have a lot of Open Sesames to open.
No, one of them is gone.
One of them's gone, but he's played
used,
one.
I think.
I don't think any have been used. The tributes are coming back, I think.
Yeah.
I think he's got at least 2 in the graveyard.
There
we
are
can't
2.
check.
We can't check, but there are 2.
I think there are 2, yeah. So that's a lot of coins. He could get out of this round, but he's going to have to start doing it quickly.
And now we're seeing... So, we could set up... No, sorry. That was on Ireland. This is for Sigwald.
Yeah. Was indeed.
Of course, makes sense before we play Swallblood.
Yeah.
So that is what's happening next.
Mm-hmm.
It could be Soph and then Swallblood, genuinely.
You could sow first, yeah. You could decide if that's the way you want to go.
To take something taller and then have it killed by Swallblood, technically. Because then you have more targets from Lian, but that's not what we end up doing.
He just goes straight in for it. And wow, okay. This is going to be a huge amount of points, and it's going to potentially come down to what does Acherontia find?
Okay.
If it finds Ixora, you might get away with it. If it doesn't, you're in trouble because you can't proc it twice in a turn anymore, really. It's nearly impossible. It's one of the reasons why, as great as this Vice list clearly is, I don't think it needs a huge amount of changes, like a tiny amount maybe, but nerfing those 2 cards again, as well as Open Sesame, would effectively render this list non-existent.
Mm-hmm. And the Spenders down makes sense.
Here it comes.
We're now seeing full leader, so...
Yeah.
And self-damage on one of the Fanatics, probably, right?
I would imagine so, yeah. I would imagine so.
There we go. Wow.
Is he going to use the Canute first? No, he should play the bear though, because of course...
You would take the bear, yeah. It's more points.
Yeah, down to 5. Bang. Oh boy.
And now Knut will make it all go.
Yeah, Canute will now hit one of them. Boom, boom.
At least that's what I imagine will happen. But the Hovering Yoros Draka seems... Okay. No Swallblood. I'm surprised by that.
Yeah, no Foulblood booms at all here.
That feels... That doesn't feel right.
Okay, well, there was a lot of points available there, none of which now
can be triggered, yeah.
And it's going to come down to, that's not going to be enough. He's looking for as many coins as possible here, so he has to take, oh boy, he is not going to have it. It's not going to be the one he's looking for. Oh, wait, no, wait. He's got 9 coins, not 8.
Does he?
If there is
one
more,
yeah.
If that singular coin procs the next one, there isn't any more, is there? He just proc both.
I don't think so, no. Do we have one singular coin?
It comes down to 1 coin. It probably wouldn't have been enough anyway.
Oh no.
Wow, no boom from Svalblood.
Was the right choice for Innomine.
And we have our entire
final.
Yeah, the Gwent Masters lineup is in, and Joe and Innomine Satanis have made it.
Wow.
That was an incredible series.
That was cool.
It was. And unfortunate for Lian, played well, a couple of disconnect issues.
Really sad to see it, yeah.
Yeah, Innomine Satanis, of course, a long-time Gwent player, has played, I believe, made it to an Open before, and has been around for quite some time. What an incredible...
Let's maybe see the information about next bits again, and then we say goodbye.
Yes, let's find out. So, who has qualified?
Let's go. So we have Innomine and Joe, together with Puzzle Express, Gravesh, Trusky, Samantha, Magpie, Mayamon, and...
Oh, and you've got Kareem, Jamie One Hand, Katberger, and Bukowski as well as, of course, the 2 qualifiers from today, as you mentioned, Joe and Innomine. Those 12 players will now battle it out.
On the 2nd and 3rd of December.
Yes, they will.
6 of them will make it to the elimination stage. That will be the Masters as you know them.
Yep.
On the 2nd weekend of December. And that will be 6 winners from the group stage facing Kaneki and
Pireball, the legend, the former world champion. And this is basically how it's going to look, as we've said.
Yeah.
The 12 of them will fight it out for 6 places in a double tournament format, 3 groups of 4 players. So in those groups of 4 players, they will be matched up based on how they qualified. they will then end up having to win 2 series. If they win 2 series, they are going through to the next weekend, which will be the finals. Those 6 players face off against the winner of mid-season, as we mentioned, and the player with the most crown points.
Yep.
Standard style on CD Projekt's channel. That is the following weekend in December, so the second weekend of December. That is when that will be taking place. So
now we know all the people who could be the next Gwent Master.
We do.
And we also have one of the best events, I believe, so far.
I agree.
An amazing event happening right now. And it does not cost you a penny. You just need to play Gwent.
You do.
Some amazing cosmetics, some old, some new. They all look really great. So I really, really recommend getting your hands on them if you haven't already.
Yeah, they are wonderful. They're really cool, as you've mentioned. Just for playing, logging in, doing those dailies, you get the blood currency, I suppose, and it unlocks an absolute plethora of amazing. Well, we also don't have a graphic. There is a spooky moonlight board in the eShop right now, and that does go towards the prize pool, of course, purchases of that for Gwent Masters. I would absolutely love to see a great prize pool.
Yeah, don't forget to do that. Yes, indeed. Okay, let's take us back to us for a second.
Let's go back. Take a look at us.
Hi.
Hello.
Really appreciate you guys being here. It's always fun to cast Gwent.
It is.
Even though it's a little bit bittersweet.
Yes.
It's a little touchy, you know. I shed a tear already in the beginning because it's just sad.
Yeah.
But like I said, and we don't have details right now, but we know the community is staying.
Yes.
And we are staying.
Definitely. We will be around.
And we're excited.
Yeah, as long as people are into Gwent, watching Gwent and loving Gwent, there will be people making content for Gwent, including us. It's really nice to see how invigorated people have been by the Gwentfinity options.
Yeah.
And you can see there's a lot of people, whether it's on Twitch, on Twitter, even Reddit, saying they are so invigorated by this chance and this choice. It could be amazing, and I'm really looking forward to see what is still to come.
Indeed. Where are we going now?
We will find a destination for you wonderful people. We will send you on. If you are watching on Twitch, you will be raided over somewhere. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you for joining us through YouTube's outage, and I hope you enjoyed it as much as possible. Yep. We will be with you sometime soon. Thank you for being here. You are live
tomorrow.
Next. Yes.
If you want to see me and you don't know me, I'm Ghost Aria. I'll be live tomorrow on my own channel, and I will be live with Darkest Dungeon. That's what we do on Mondays. A little bit of Darkest Dungeoning.
Yes.
Really cool. And then some Gwent on Thursday. So that's the plan for the upcoming week for me.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here. I really do appreciate it. It was great fun. Everybody who came over from Liz, also super appreciate you. Hope you enjoyed Gwent.
Yes.
Have you decided where we're going, Dan?
I haven't, but I will send you into the BRB screen and I will raid us over. So, get ready, be prepared, and thank you for joining us. I'm sure you will see us again soon.
Yes. Have a lovely Sunday.
Bye, guys.
Bye.